The West is decadent, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Millionth Show. My name is James, joined as always by Henry, also special guest Tom for the Bond series. And today we are talking about Octopussy, released in 1983. So this is the sixth Roger Moore Bond film, and I'm tempted to say the best. Is that?
mean,
What do you think?
I
Straight
you
off
know
the bat.
I when I was watching this, I was kind of thinking a similar thing. The thing that I really disliked when I'm watching this is nothing to do with the film. It's the fact that this is such a over-hated Bond film, and I think it's just because he's a clown for 5 seconds and everyone pisses on it. It's ridiculous.
And he does a Tarzan scream for 2 seconds.
Well, that was quite silly.
No. I have an
That's
explanation.
like akin to
The slide
the
whistle
slide whistle. Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not. It has a purpose, I think, or at least
to
it has
show that James
a
Bond actually
defense
grew
that
up in
I
the
can come up
jungle.
with. No,
But anyway, regardless, this is just I forgot how much stuff happens in this film. This is I just it's just pure entertainment. Like very much the opposite of Pure Eyes Only. Um, I I mean I'm a huge fan of Moonraker, as everyone knows. And I mean, we'll get to the rankings. Although to be fair, you two love it more, so I think this will end up winning over it. But still, Tom, this is your favorite Bond film, isn't it?
absolutely, and has been almost constantly since I first saw it for my 9th birthday.
Oh,
Is Yeah, I love it. After Fear Eyes Only brought James Bond back down to earth and 6 feet under again, I think this film had to like resurrect it a bit and yeah, it's my favorite. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, this I think really plays to all of Roger Moore's strengths, and I think by this point he absolutely had basically nailed his portrayal of James Bond.
yeah,
And the film had completely worked around him as well, and you can really tell, especially the people who they cast around him to bounce off of.
yeah, very much so.
You'd be surprised
John,
actually because this film was there was another Bond actor called James Brolin who they thought was going to actually take on the mantle, so he was actually doing tests and stuff for this film, and yeah, but Roger Moore ends up taking it. So make of that what you will. But I do think the film is best around like Roger Moore completely.
Mm.
yeah, exactly. They've fully embraced, his style, and obviously they just, build everything around him, which is fantastic. Even though he's getting on a little bit by this point, like visually, aging quite quickly.
Yeah,
I don't think too much. Like
it's not too
he's,
much because they
I
don't
mean, there's
have.
there's a part in the film where he's actually like, shirtless, and he's in good, decent shape for however old he was in this film. Not How old was he in this film, Tom? Do you know?
Well, we don't look
He
stuff
would
up,
have
do
been
we?
maybe 52, I'm guessing, because he was 54 in A View to Kill, wasn't
Yeah, that was released
Was
2
he?
years after this, right?
I thought he was
he?
older
Yeah,
for some reason.
he wasn't in his like
He looks
60s.
he looks
I'm
a
not
lot older.
sure.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's just visual. It's just his face, though. His face is like very like leathery, like as it ages. So um, but nevertheless, I mean, he gives an absolutely fantastic performance in this film. One thing I was really concentrating on actually watching it last night was the plot and how well that actually all adds up. The
yeah.
plot's
I mean,
actually very sound.
yeah, it's a sound plot, but admittedly, it is sometimes hard to follow, especially when it comes to the egg that's like bouncing around for a lot of the film.
The egg
Because
is
especially the most confusing part for me for the longest time was when the egg, the guy where Stephen Barkov's character destroys the egg, thinking it's a fake, even though it's the real one, and like um Louis Jourdain's character doesn't actually like he's like reacts like he knows it's the real one, but he doesn't tell him that beforehand, and it's like then they kind of forget about the
Well,
egg
hang
for
on
the
a
rest.
minute. Orlov destroys the real egg.
Yeah,
Does he?
yeah.
Tom?
um I once watched someone go through it, but like I've always thought it was the fake
It
because
must be the fake.
No, but
Be
Bond.
insane
No,
to
but
break
that's the
them.
thing. Bond
'cause
took the
that's-
real egg, right, during the auction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the one that he put the microphone in.
no, because when he comes, oh no, he would have the real one because like
Yeah.
my security and yours, and then like he has the egg
Yeah,
with
that's
him.
why they're constantly going after it because they need the real one back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need the real one back, but Bond goes and hands in the real. Like M tells Bond to hand in the real one. Oh yeah, before he
Yeah,
goes
but
to
the
India.
fake. I know, but they have
right?
the fake one. The British government only has one egg. That's the thing.
Yeah, but that means
And that's the
No,
real
they
one.
don't. They have. Yeah. Now I'm
He
confused.
gives Bond the real egg, right? And like you see in Q's lab, it is the genuine one, and that's the one they put the mic in, and then by some
Yeah,
miracle they
yeah.
find the microphone. Anyway, we're getting a bit ahead
Yeah,
of ourselves.
but M tells Bond to hand in. It's government property now, right? Remember?
Mm.
he
No,
he
there's only
tells him.
two in this film. There's the real one and the fake one. The fake one, Kamal Khan has, and Bond has the real one. And so technically,
But
they have to
eventually,
give.
Kamal Khan and Orlov have both, don't
No,
they?
they don't. He takes it. He got it during the auction, remember? Because he switched it with the fake one.
No, but they have both because Magda lifts it out of his jacket. Remember?
Yeah, I know. But she takes it later, but that's after he's put the tracker in it. That's why he.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why he doesn't care.
So that can't be a
the
real
real
one though,
one.
because I think he made a. Well, I don't know
But Q didn't make a fake one because you can't make
Yeah.
it that quickly. So M takes the real one off of him so that Q can make something small enough to put in it. That's why he demonstrates it to him later. Otherwise, if Q
He
didn't
doesn't
know
take it
this.
off him though, because he says sign a chip for that egg. He doesn't
Yeah,
say
that's right. Yeah,
But
that's
well,
what I was
regardless,
thinking.
the government has the real one. Kamal Khan has the fake one, right? There are only two eggs. And it makes more sense that it's the real one because Louis Jordan, Kamal Khan,
This is like
he-
Inception levels of like, is it real or
yeah,
not?
exactly. He has like a reaction to it, like almost like like oh no man, like because it's the real one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've heard someone else say that though, like Kamal Khan is so taken with the fake that he thinks he can like sell it on as if it's real, and then
Well, I
he's
mean, this is
like
the thing that this
disappointed.
egg ultimately doesn't really matter in the long run because it's not about that.
Costs 009 his life though.
Yeah, well, he died for a fake egg, man.
I think this like another great thing about this film we have to mention is it's the first one really that doesn't have to like doesn't try anything new, like it doesn't
Doesn't
like
try to
do
be
anything.
clever.
It doesn't try to like redefine or like do some
Mm,
genre jumping thing, and
mm.
it's just like does really good action, plays to all of Roger Moore's strength, tries to get good characters and have a solid plot, and I think it really shines in that because they were trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do, but like they were trying
Yeah,
to
I mean,
something
I think what you're
new
trying to
every
say, it
single film.
doesn't try and do anything too special or too out there. Just everything in this film, all the ingredients are solid. There's nothing. I don't watch this film and think, that was a bit weak. That was, like
Yeah.
nothing. That didn't work. Everything is like to a good standard. Nothing's exceptional either. It's just all
No.
very well knitted together. I think
I think a lot of
if I
things are
was to
very
show
great in
someone
this.
a
Yeah.
Bond film, or if someone wanted to get to know Roger Moore's Bond, I'd be tempted to show them this. Or if someone asked me why do you think Roger Moore's the best Bond, I would be tempted to show them this film. I think this is just where you get the best of Roger Moore's Bond.
Hmm.
It's so quotable.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
let's
maybe
get
because of
into it
Kamal
then, and
Khan.
we can comment on along the way. Now, okay, first of all, we have possibly the best opening to a Bond film ever. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay, so they're in Spain, right?
No, they're in
Could be.
Cuba.
Yeah, I was gonna
Cuba.
say like
Oh,
it's
cool.
those outfits, man, and the mustaches, and the
They
beard.
literally have like a fake Fidel Castro there at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So okay, so the film opens in Cuba and Bond is going undercover as Toro. Sounds like a load of bull. And he's given a fake moustache, of course, marches in and you've just got all the little mannerisms. When he's walking through the checkpoint and he flicks the guy's just
Pocket,
those little
yeah.
things, just like, I don't know. There's like just a little extra. Anyway, so he goes in, he's saluting, and then like
plants a bomb.
plants a
Yeah.
bomb. He gets caught out, and he's you're a Toro too. Small world, you know.
Yeah, like his doppelganger pops up. The guy's
Yeah. And when I was young, I always thought, wow, it looks exactly the same. But I watched it last night. I'm like, nah, actually, they are. Yeah, it's not like they're clones or anything. And anyway, so then Bond gets captured, so he's relying on the help of his beautiful assistant there, who I don't know. This scene is just this is just already you're just straight in there. Roger Moore's doing all the facial acting, you know.
Yep.
And what I found funny as well is they go quite PG for the first half of this film in terms of kills. Like he doesn't really kill anyone actually. He's like
he kills a whole warehouse full of people, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not directly actually. I mean. Not directly. He tries to, but I mean, because okay, so first of all, he could have. I mean, if this is like Daniel Craig, you know, it's like okay, he's putting a bullet in both of those guards' heads, yeah, and also the guys driving the car. Instead, he pulls the parachutes. Roger Moore pulls the parachutes, and then like shoots the tires, and so they can fall into the chicken house.
That's really funny, by the way. Like
Yeah.
when I love it when what's her name? I want to say Rita, but I don't think that's her name. Like she's like showing her leg and stuff to the very easily distracted guards, and then
Roger Moore's
don't blame him, man.
when Roger Moore gets in, like I love how the guy at the front's just like waving to her, and then smile
Yeah.
vanishes
just
when
drives
Roger
it.
Moore's got a gun, and then like
That's
it's
right.
amazing.
Oh,
And then
the way
of
it comes
course.
to the frame, man.
Of course, you know, they're towing a horse box. I think that's what they're called,
Cart, yeah.
which contains, if I'm not mistaken, the world's smallest plane. Certainly at the time.
One of them, I guess.
Well, at the time, I think it actually was. Maybe they've developed smaller ones since.
The smallest manned plane, I think.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, it's
Like
not
for
a drone or
flying,
anything.
flying shows, I'm assuming.
Um, I mean, what can we say about this, man? It's like what I particularly like about this pre-title sequence, the pre-credit sequence, is the fact that it has nothing to do with the rest of the film. I kind of like.
Actually, that's
It
really
does with that.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
really
What?
interesting, actually, because this opening was actually originally intended for Moonraker,
Yeah,
but
that's
they
right,
decided to put it for Octopussy, so that's probably why. But it's so
yeah,
perfect.
of
like,
course. But I mean,
Never mind, I've got
I
something different.
like the fact that it doesn't tie into the rest of the film. For some reason, that feels very liberating. So it's like basically like a 5-minute Bond film, almost.
Yeah, kind of.
That's how I treat this, and I really like that actually. I mean, yeah, I mean, same could be said of any of them really, like Spy Love Me or Moonraker. But you know, they
Spy
have
Love Me was
characters, and it
important,
plays into the plot later. This is just a standalone sort of 5-minute short. You know, I really enjoy that.
yeah, this is like it's so simple yet so entertaining. Like
I
plane
like as
being
well
chased by a missile.
Yeah,
I think the effects actually aren't too bad as well for
very good.
for him, you know, given previous green screen eras and some of these,
Yeah, I wasn't taken out of it at all. You know, they've firmly got a grip on that by now.
yeah.
And of course, you know, after he's blown everything up, you get the just the because I was kind of watching it. I'm like, I forgot this line is coming up, so I'm watching it, and then I'm like, yeah, this is great, you know. But where's the humor? Where's Roger Moore's touch on it? You know, it's like I want to see like I'm waiting for something funny to happen, and then you know, fill her up, please.
Yeah,
Like
I love it. He just taxes right into like this.
yeah,
Not even just a regular petrol station. It's like in the middle of nowhere, like farmer guy, like
that's right.
just seeing a plane pull up to his like petrol
I
station.
love it.
Yeah, it's quintessential Bond Roger Moore line.
Yeah, that's Roger Moore in a nutshell, in it. And then we get the song, of course. It's called "All Time High," if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't try and shoehorn the word octopussy in the lyrics.
Performed by. You're gonna have to help me here. I forgot to look it up.
Rita College or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
All right, I'm just gonna get that. Not one of my favorites, to be honest. Probably actually
Yeah,
one of the weakest ones, if anything.
I mean, it's the ones from like Spy Love Me to now just merged together for me. So.
You're right. Rita Coolidge performed this one.
Yeah.
Not standout for me.
Tell you what, there are two good things in this, I think. I really like the cool visual bit where you get like the arms wrapping around James Bond, like think
Yeah.
that's quite memorable. I also
What about
really
the
like
big pair of tits? You get a big zoom in on
Yeah,
those.
that's it.
Yeah.
And then-
you know, like this. I don't know how unpopular of an opinion this is, but I'm glad they kind of got rid of the silhouettes and shit, because this is like really awkward to watch, like when you're with someone else.
Yeah, that's true. But
and
oh yeah.
I do like
But they
the
don't get rid of it, Henry. This continues even into the Daniel Craig films.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just
but it's not so.
tradition.
It's a lot less tasteless. You can put it like that.
well,
Well, yeah, it was. Yeah, I suppose.
And it's
Well,
like
it's not. It doesn't really. I mean,
it's like this is
yeah, I don't know.
90%
It's
of
always
this
an
one.
interesting one, isn't it?
In Craig films, they pop up a lot more rarely, kind of.
to pull it back
Still there,
into
though.
like
It's still
But yeah,
there,
this
but
this
not
is yeah. They're not. Yeah, it's like yeah. Anyway,
as
anyway.
gratuitous as I
putting
don't know
it
how
back
like this
into.
got into the cinemas, like for kids, you know, like PG
Do you
movies.
know what? Actually, it was really interesting when the film was like the PR marketing or something was being done for it. They did like a questionnaire, like a quiz, and they asked these girls like um if they had watched a film called like Octopussy. Most of
Mhm.
them said no, and then after being told like it's a James Bond film, they like reversed their decisions. Most of them, so that's quite funny. But like one thing I love in this song is like I don't know what instrument it is. It's like Indian guitar or something, but you get like some Indian instrument, like hints of it thrown in, and that just gets me really
Oh, that's
excited
cool.
for like where we're going and the film in general. So
I've got to say, I mean, it's worth pointing at this point, since you mentioned the title of the film, and because also we got a comment as well about like discussing the titles of films, which I've never ever thought about. Honestly, I've always just accepted the titles of Bond films
Yeah,
for what
for
they
what
are. But Octopussy,
is a really dumb
not
title.
only as a title
yeah,
of the film, but I mean the whole film in general, a lot of things that happen in it is definitely, I would say, the most outrageous Bond film. Um, Not in a bad way though. It's done in
Well,
I mean in a good way. Like, because like we said before, there's no like nothing too flashy in this film. There's no Aston Martin DB5. There's not actually that many like gadgets or anything. Um, it's tastefully done, but it's still like they just do and say outrageous things, but
yeah,
it's
for real.
never distasteful. You know,
Well,
yeah.
killing is distasteful.
yeah.
So
Tommy. But
uh,
like, you saying like, well, if you could name it something else, what would you name it?
I would call it probably.
prophecy of a lady.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
mm,
say, because they
I
even
was
reference
thinking.
it in this.
I was thinking maybe Operation Trove or something like that.
That sounds
Trove.
terrible,
Just
man.
have
Yeah, that's
like
so boring, man. Imagine if you called Goldfinger Operation Grand Slam.
like I
That
don't
could be all right, but like Operation Trove, man.
know. We could just call
No,
it.
no, no. I think I think all of I don't I've never considered. I mean, the only problem with some Bond titles is they're too long. Like Onomastic. You see what I
Automation
mean? It's
Secret
already a
Service
mouthful. Or the
works
world
though.
is not enough. Like I don't like long titles, but I like. And actually, you've got like, for example, A View to a Kill. That doesn't even make sense.
But that
Like,
Do you know that was meant to be an even longer
yeah,
title called
from a view to
From a View to a Kill, but they like shortened it. So
but I like Bond films that consider. For some reason, I think it's cool when a Bond film. I mean, most of the titles either contain gold, kill, or die. Right?
yeah.
I think that accounts for at least half of the Bond titles, and that's really cool.
Hmm.
For me, anyway.
Well,
Uh, so anyway, Octopussy. Okay, so then we get to a scene, right? Which is like dark as fuck, man. This could sit in like a horror film, to be honest.
yeah.
We
yeah,
have 009 being pursued by the knife twins, Misha and Grishka.
Grishka
Grishka
and
and
Grishka.
Grishka, yeah.
Yeah, which is very, very like. I've got to say, by the way, another thing I noticed with this film, upon rewatching it last night, was the music. Music's fantastic in this film,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
isn't it?
great. I really like the I'll talk about how it's used later, but this I'm so happy they went through for like a more I know it aged well and they just ditched the 80s like synth music from For Your Eyes Only and Spy Who Loved Me, and
Mm.
I'm
Yeah, the
not a
music
fan of that.
wasn't as dated as in the other films. I was noticing
Yeah.
that. Like, it was very like it fit the atmosphere of it more.
Hmm. Yeah, to be fair, 80s synth wouldn't really work well in India, would it?
Yeah, I
No,
think that
not
I
even
mean,
in
a
the
lot of
German
things in this film
version.
actually age really well. Although, having said that, you don't see many films set in India, so it's probably benefits from that fact. and probably plays. I mean, plays
Well,
on.
I don't know, man.
people's
Yeah,
ignorance of it,
speak for
but
yourself. You haven't watched thousands of Bollywood films.
no, I haven't. To be fair, any Indian subscribers, feel free to correct me. But anyway, so but 009, man, he gets
He bites it.
yeah,
It's
like
very
I
harrowing.
love this scene. I mean, if you just take this out of context and you show it to someone, just like 5 minute clip, this it's like really dark and suspenseful, man. Like the music's great. I mean, and what's happening is like genuinely like scary, man. This could fit in a horror film for sure. Um, almost, you know, and it just sets that darker tone for like the film, which is otherwise very light.
I really like the I don't know, they already got you with a hook in the beginning with the action and the jet, but they
Hmm.
also they it's like they hook you again with like the
Yeah.
what's happening here and like what's going on. I do feel bad about the guy though, because he goes to the British embassy and then like the tossers there care more about the egg rather than like one of their
Yeah.
one of their agents in East Berlin who's just like crashed through the door or something. And so yeah, and yeah, it is very harrowing actually. Like
Mm,
when the guy's like climbing a bridge and then if one of them
mm.
throws a knife, misses him barely, and the other guy just gets
Yeah.
it. It's like, yeah, he's
Yeah,
over.
it's so well filmed that I really enjoy it, man. Okay, so then Bond rocks up to work, and he sees who he thinks is Moneypenny, but in fact is Miss Penelope Smallbone. So
Yeah,
Name.
yeah, and you know, there's a bit of banter there between him and you know what I like at this point now, Moneypenny and well, Lois Maxwell and Roger Moore are just aging at the right moment together. They've come to a point where they actually not only look like they actually make a really great couple, but they almost start looking like each other as well. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it because they both kind of look like. Yeah, you're right in that they look similar enough. I just love like the banter they have with each other. It's just like, you know,
Mm,
I like how they were able to like reference her aging without like
yeah,
in a non-intrusive way.
in
Like,
a very graceful manner. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
oh, it was funny when she was like,
Can't
he
say the
like,
same about Q though later.
yeah, but like when Bond says, she is everything, and then like she finishes a sentence from
Yeah, that's
like
right.
I used to be, and he's like, I didn't say that.
And it's also ironic because Roger Moore's obviously aging like a pear as well at that moment. So you know, um, but
Aging like wipes.
yeah, but at the end of the day, we haven't really mentioned. We've kind of skipped over Roger Moore and Lois Maxwell's chemistry in their films. They're fantastic together, I think.
So good.
They
You
were
know,
yeah, they were like friends really. Like I don't it
that's
wasn't
right.
like
It's very
flirtatious. Like
authentic, organic, isn't it?
Mm.
yeah.
Anyway, so Bond goes through the door and he meets M, who is now officially what's the guy's name, man? The
Robert
actor.
Lee, I think
Robert Harvey.
so,
No, that was
no
Admiral
no.
Harvey.
You're thinking Bernard Lee. Oh,
Oh
why am I
yeah.
so unprepared
It,
today, man? The guy's name is because we're going to need to rank him. So Robert
yes,
Brown. I never knew
Robert
that.
Brown. I got it half of it at least.
Robert
yeah,
Brown.
same.
Um
But it wasn't Hargreaves because that's his character's name.
So yeah, so Bond meets not only M and Ministry of Defense, but also Jim Fanning, and you know, there's a funny moment where they shake hands. It's like Jim James, because you know, as everyone knows, every Jim and Jamie is actually James in hiding. So you know,
Yeah.
not many can bear the weight of such a name. So you know,
I like Robert Brown's M as well. He's very like I don't know, I think he's underrated. He's like
yeah, he's good. He doesn't put a foot wrong, does he?
Yeah, he's good, but I think it might be the fact that Bernard Lee was in, 11 films that just kind of helps him a lot more. He's like, he's just more of a
yeah.
familiar face, honestly.
And so anyway, so Bond and Fanning, they obviously this is where we get the name drop "Property of a Lady," which was of course the title of one of Ian Fleming's novels, and
Mhm.
hopefully a future Bond film. I'd really like it if they. I don't know why they haven't used that title yet because it sounds cool, you know, "Property of a Lady." It's like, you know, why
Yeah.
not? Um, so then we go and meet Gogol and Orlov. and
Mhm.
a bunch of other Russian shits.
Yeah, and a lot of people with their giant eyebrows.
That's right. Yeah.
You'd be surprised though, because really, I think the depiction in this one is very favorable to Russian actually, because it's everyone there is like reasonable, and then they're like
Mm.
talking about disarmament and stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
all of the one who's like got the bee in his bonnet about everything, and
That's
like
right.
he's like he can't stand where he sees this going, and the set is really cool as well. Like
Yeah. Like
it's
the
like
rotating, yeah. It's like
giant
some,
meeting
yeah.
table and like
Giant,
Very cool.
giant like
And then-
painting of Lenin, you know,
Yeah.
huge hammer and sickle across the floor.
That's
and
right.
then yeah, and then
A
of course
giant world map in colors of who's good and who's bad.
Yeah.
the rotation is really. I love how
I
don't know. I
mean,
just love how he has it prepared. Like
Yeah,
just
you got
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. I
Microsoft
mean,
like
because we've seen
PowerPoint, yeah.
Goggle in a few films by now, and it's like actually this is the first time we see him sort of at his day job, and then obviously you've got opposite him Orlov as well, who's like the actor's he's like really overacting, but it fits his character so well. It never takes me out, but he's very animated, but
yeah,
I buy into it totally.
Yeah,
It's like
just like fully pulls off like being insane, you know, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or like
And obviously he goes on this tyrannical rant about the West and how we shouldn't give up our power and stuff.
and divided.
Exactly. Has no stomach to risk nuclear reprisals. And then anyway, so then we get to the auction. So Bond
Oh.
and Fanning are there. They're like, it's I love this scene actually. It's just it's like something of a bygone era, isn't it? And
it's amazing. Like, because I don't know. This film, a testament to this film's greatness, in my opinion, is the fact they managed to make an auction entertaining to watch. Like,
No, they
they
managed
get
it in Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, that was just
mm,
comedy though. In this, you had to
Yeah, I
have
know that.
comedy for Roger Moore, suspense. You had to introduce a villain. You had like it's really
Yeah.
great, and like I love it because you have all the stuff going on, and then you just have this like fanning guy there
yeah.
having
Yeah.
having like heart failure and stuff.
Yeah,
When
yeah. I think you're
having
right. It's fantastic. It's very well acted, very well written. There is suspense and tension in it. Um,
Yeah,
and
like
obviously it's very instrumental in the plot, and it displays Bond, his thinking on his feet, his quick movements, basically,
yeah, it's a
and also
magic
switch
trick.
it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's I
Like all
think
eyes are
there's so
in the
many
room are on him.
ingredients. You have Bond, eyeing up all the, there are many women in here, and all that. So it hits all the
Hopefully,
right
Robert
hits
Hanks.
all the right notes in a tasteful way as always. And yeah, like I said, Tom, Fanning's like,
he's the audience basically in this
yeah,
situation.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And it's so British as well because he's have you gone totally mad? Like response to like this like completely like what the fuck are you doing, mate?
We
Um,
also get introduced to the main villain, Kamal Khan, and Magda as well alongside. And I think Kamal Khan sells the scene as well because you see him more or
huh.
less
Yeah,
smoldering
he
at the
fits in
back
as well, man.
as like. And one thing I want to say about Kamal Khan, he's probably the most refined Bond villain we've gotten up to this point. He's basically like he is actually like royalty technically. He's a exiled Afghan prince, and I don't know. He I don't know. Plays everything so smoothly, but so like you can see like the anger behind when things are going wrong as well. I think and he's like really slimy as well when stuff is like when stuff is not going his way as well.
Yeah.
Like he's not
Mm.
like he's not like he's the complete opposite of like Max Zorin basically.
Yeah, like because
Kamal Khan's an interesting one.
he's very reserved.
Yeah, but I don't really know what it is about him that is missing that would really make him a great. I mean, he's very well acted. I think just maybe, it sounds like a bad thing to say, but like the guy's face isn't memorable or something like that. I mean,
But he
Yeah,
doesn't need to
Adam
be.
he doesn't
Scott.
actually have any presence about him. That's what annoys me. There's
I
nothing
think
I don't feel threatened.
Maybe it's
I don't dislike him. He's just there and meh, like
no.
he's
I honestly think he is so well acted in this, and the fact that I mean he is like his quotes are like great.
yeah.
His scenes are great.
yeah,
The only
I
thing
agree. I agree.
the thing I think that you might feel that is missing that you can't put your finger on might be you don't actually see him doing much that's particularly
Yeah,
bad. Like obviously, he's
that's
You
gonna
you
do
d-
like thousands or millions
yeah.
to
If I saw him like
millions
cut
less
someone's
times.
throat and then laugh,
you get
Yeah,
you do get a
or
really you do get a really cold moment where he
cheap
gets
dice.
Gobinder to do something later to people to pretty innocent people, which I never picked up on until much later, which I'll talk about. So
Wow.
um
Yeah.
yeah. So I think though, like the memorable thing for me about him is, and what sets him apart is like, I don't know, he's just really like refined in everything, and like, but he has to like, and he's exceptionally greedy as well. Like he
mm,
just shows up and tries to get his hands on all this jewelry, and
yeah, there's
he's prepared to backstab everybody and
yeah.
anybody into getting
Yeah.
it. It's like,
Well, there's
it,
absolutely there's a lot of subtlety in his performance, but I mean, unfortunately, I think he's just never like he's not memorable. I
I
don't
think he's
know. I don't
memorable.
really
Or
know.
would you rather say that he's not menacing?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. Like I said, I mean, when we were talking about, um, was it Drax? There was no. The last film, Loke. That right?
Chris
Yeah.
Statos.
Yeah,
No.
Status,
Loke, the
Loke, everyone
octagonal
else.
Oh,
glasses guy.
oh
That
him.
was someone I wanted. Like, that's someone I like that in a villain where I have a reason to dislike him, or he's intimidating, he's menacing, he's threatening. I need something like that from a villain, So like, and I have that from everyone except maybe Stromberg,
Hmm.
Charles Gray.
Even Stromberg, you see him pull up two guys in a helicopter.
Yeah, Stromberg. Yeah, exactly. Like he does shitty things, Kamal Khan's just like he's just kind
I
of
th- I
a
know.
petty criminal.
I
Effectively, he's
think
just
I
like a
think
politician, sort of.
I think Kamal Khan is like, you really do get to see his side when he just like I don't know, he ditches Octopussy, and then he like also tries to blame it on Orlov when he gets found out later. So like
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I think he's just like completely, I don't know, he's like really despicable. I actually find him menacing, but in a really understated way. Like
Oh,
Mm.
he's so like polished almost, that like he talks about how he's going to torture
Mm.
James Bond at his dinner table and makes it sound like
just
almost
like
like
yeah.
civilized, like, yeah,
Mm.
so I'm gonna like use this to torture. I like it actually. It's a good performance.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. I can see what you mean, James. Like you don't get the impression this guy like does. He's not
Yeah,
like
he's just not.
really.
I mean,
He's a
I'm
villain, but he's
fully
not like
invested in
kind of.
Orlov as a villain, or Gobinder as a henchman. But um, I don't. Kamal Khan is a main villain. I mean, I think what helps is very much Orlov. He like brings everything that Kamal Khan isn't. Orlov is. It's like very in your face. Like aggressive sort of.
And they
Maniacal.
complement each other,
Yeah,
which
that's
is really
true.
good.
That's true.
If they were both maniacal, maybe it'd be too much of a problem.
We'll rank them at the end, of course. I do want to
I think
raise
we're gonna have
one
very
quick
different
question though
opinions.
about his relationship with Magda. Um, I never
Oh,
thought about it for some reason until last night. I'm like, are they fucking or are they business partners or what? I don't because
I think, I
Maybe
was thinking about this myself when we were talking about, when I was thinking about Octopussy's relationship with Kamal Khan. I have like my own theory where like perhaps they're partners, and the reason why he became partners with her was because he is an Afghan prince, right? So you got to know a bit of history, and there was basically a coup against the royal family of that back in the day, and so I reckon she might have smuggled him out and like gotten him to India. And
yeah.
then after that, they got like a kind of business relationship. And I think that's also why he's reluctant to have her harmed or killed later, because he's like, the woman must not be harmed. And then
no, no,
later,
no. I was I understand
But
his
with Magda,
relationship
yeah,
with Octopussy. I was wondering about his relationship with Magda.
I think Magda is like, yeah, he's like, I don't know,
he's banging,
Octopussy.
but not enough.
Yeah,
Well, actually, to come to think of it, that means he left her to burn in a nuclear holocaust. So
Yeah, I don't think
so the story
I don't
wouldn't
think
come
Kamal
out.
Khan's getting any action really, to be honest.
he does
I mean,
He gets cut hard later as well, man. I think he probably really fancies Octopussy, and then like Bond just comes in like, oh yeah,
I don't know if he fans. But the thing is, Magda has like a private room, and we see Bond show up to dinner, and it's literally just him and her. I think there's a
how to
bit.
pull a woman, brag
I
about how
think
you're going to torture this guy.
I think there's a bit more going on there than yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think
maybe
I think
Magda
they're
has a
just
thing.
friends.
Actually, I think Magda has a thing for old men because she goes for Q later, doesn't she? So
yeah,
You wouldn't really call Kamal Khan old guy. He doesn't look that
he's
old.
actually
He does look-
Louis Jourdan was like 59 or 60 when he played
yeah,
this.
yeah.
He was,
but-
yeah, no, but he didn't look that old. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think he did.
He
But
didn't
anyway,
look older than Roger Moore. You know.
well, that's
Yeah.
not really a benchmark, is it, man? I mean, that's not fair.
Yeah,
Um,
I would have guessed him to maybe
He
be
looked a
early
bit
on.
younger than like Chris Dartos, and that's it.
that's only
Christatos
because
is
of his hair
old.
color, though. I think
Yeah, exactly.
if you
But
actually look
re-
at his face, he has quite an old
yeah, but
face, like
regardless
a
of it,
very old
his
face.
hair color his hair color allows him to do that, and that is still something that makes him look younger, regardless of
Yeah,
if
but
it's
if
solid
you
or not.
actually concentrate on his face, like his whole face is sagged,
So
quite visibly. But
anyway,
anyway,
this isn't that important.
so then, so the auction wraps up. Bond forces him to like outbid him basically, and
Yeah, it's like playing
tails him.
Monopoly,
Is that
man. When you like
Monopoly? Yeah.
auction to like a 500, you know.
Where you
Yep.
get someone's favorite property and you have to get it.
And
Yeah.
then Bond goes to India. So this
Yeah,
is
amazing.
you just get this like real like surge of music, very
Yeah,
like
tourist
Indian themed.
hotspot like flybys.
It's
I absolutely
amazing.
love
Like
this.
I think this is the last James Bond film where they really, really sell the location. And actually, there's another thing I wanted to point out because this film actually gets a bit of criticism, like for some reason, by like younger people today, by saying it's like portraying stereotypes and stuff of India. And I want to go against that actually because I know the producers apparently put a lot of effort into making India look good. Like
Mm.
they put like they tried to get all the extras to wear like colorful clothes and stuff, and like they tried to have like cool iconic things from India featured and make them entertaining as well. And I think that was really thoughtful of them in a way. And probably Indian people love that as well when they see it.
Yeah, I
So
would be when it comes to like I was thinking about this earlier. When it comes to Bond visiting different countries, obviously,
Mhm.
in some of them, like for example, he visited Greece in the previous one. If you know, if I was from Greece, I'd feel like a bit let down that my like the Bond film which goes to my country is like a bit mid. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not Indian, so I wouldn't know how they would feel about it. But I would imagine they'd think this is at least a lot better than how a lot of other countries got dealt a bad hand.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And obviously,
Same
there's
thing.
a historical how can we put this complication between Indians and the English, colonization and everything. So that would have, I mean, and India's certainly not exclusive to that in terms of countries around the world that have that. But I think, like you said, yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that India's portrayed favorably in this film, and the characters, I think, especially VJ, absolutely love him. He's one of
Yeah.
my favorite,
yeah.
if not my all-time favorite Bond ally. Um, I think it's
Yeah.
very well portrayed. There are a couple of moments where you're like, oh,
Like,
that's they're pushing it there a little bit.
Like
But I
what?
think it's all done in good humor, and I don't think unless you're very, I don't think a reasonable person will get offended at this. I think everything's done in good
I
humor.
mean, what could you possibly get offended at?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's like towards the end when you've got like the Union Jack hot air balloon like sailing into this Indian palace.
Yeah,
I'm
but
kind of
that's just like clearly. Well,
That's
that's
I
not
not
know, I
clearly.
know.
really.
That's what I mean. It's done in good humor, but I think someone could take that out of
That's
context and
not
try
an
and spin it a
Indian.
different way. And
It's
there are a
like
couple of other. I mean, I don't know. Like some people might go, oh well, when he says, oh, that'll keep you in curry, people might think,
that's
Isn't that
literally an
like an actual saying,
expression
though?
though. It is.
I know, we know that, but someone could, wouldn't surprise.
Keep and like if someone like gave me like a shit ton of money, just be like, oh yeah, this will keep you fish and shits for it. Could be like, yeah, sure, man, sure thing, you know.
Yeah, thanks.
But
That'll
anyway,
keep you sea bags.
yeah, this is well, because I'm trying to think. There's Indiana Jones film that's
Oh yeah,
largely.
Temple of Doom,
Yeah,
and
that's
Yeah,
right.
that came out a year after this actually. So I'm gonna
we
hog all the.
definitely copied
I'm
it.
gonna give all the credit to Octopussy for like the dinner table
Yeah.
scene where they have
Yeah.
all the weird food and like.
Well,
I
it's no secret that the Indiana Jones films are very much influenced by the Bond films,
yeah.
and now that I think about it, Temple of Doom is actually another film that portrays India, and I think it portrays it in a very unfavorable manner.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
does,
they
yeah.
Like
actually
it makes it look like a complete slum, you know. Like I would never want to go. I would never want. I'm someone as well, by the way. Who I mean, we all are, but
yeah.
I'd like to think.
I'd like to
I eat Indian food probably twice a week, and absolutely love. I'm like big fan of Indian culture. Actually, I do
Yeah, I
intend to
listen to the
visit.
Tunak song every now and then.
Yeah,
I'd love
I do
to
intend to
visit it as
visit
well,
eventually, and
probably for different reasons.
yeah, and I think a lot of that, and what I expect to see, maybe I don't know, but when I do eventually set foot in India, I like to think of it in my head as being how it is in this film. I would certainly never go to the India portrayed in Temple of Doom. So
I mean, I
that's
think
the
that
point I'm
film
trying to
actually
make.
got like complaints by the negative
It
portrayal
did,
of
yeah.
India, but
Yeah, I'm not
And
surprised.
it has like the whole cult thing in it as well.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
obviously. Oh yeah, and the food. I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad actually. It's not great. It's not a good advert at all.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it is
so
the Temple of Doom.
Bond rocks up in India. He meets VJ, and you've just got this great
Amazing.
moment. It's like this Messer moment of breaking down the fourth wall. He's like playing the Bond theme.
Yeah.
Um,
People, I hear some people like hate that bit, but it's just like,
no, I
who
love it.
cares? It's a Roger Moore Bond film, man. Like, what do you want?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
this. I
It's
think it is
perfect
a moment
for
where you're like,
Roger
oh,
Moore.
but it's cheeky, It's like it's sort of like they're just winking at you through the camera. It's like I like it.
yeah.
Um, and anyway, so then VJ gives him, the update of what's going on, and I love the conversation. I love VJ, man, the actor for it. I mean, he's brilliant.
Yeah,
And
he's actually
an actual tennis pro, wasn't he?
yeah,
Like
tennis
Yeah.
he was a
pro.
very good player, wasn't he?
And he's,
I
yeah, I
love
mean,
yeah.
it's the fact that he's sharing a screen with Roger Moore, but he's like doubles the charisma on screen as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
He's
got
got
like his lines just so good, man. Like,
no
Yeah,
problem. This is a
when he's like,
company
yeah,
car.
I've managed to sneak my way into Kamal's tennis club, whatever, and Roger Moore goes, oh, well, and what have you learnt? And he goes, oh, well, my backhand's improved.
yeah, yeah. I like
Yeah.
he's like, like, oh, like the actor saying like, oh yeah, I play some tennis, like,
Yeah. I
like
love how he gets
there's all his tennis puns as well, of course. So
Hmm.
I love
I love that. I love the fact they got this actor, and the guy's like we said, an actual pro. I'm sure he won trophies as well as a professional, and and obviously they just work that into his character as well. They don't ignore that. They're just like, yeah, let's bring that in. Let's see how we can have fun with that, and they
yeah,
certainly
it's
do
so
later
fun,
on.
man.
I love one other thing I want to say. I love when they've decked the villains later, and he's like game set and match. Like that's a really
Yeah,
cool
that's
like
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
It's getting a bit further ahead.
Henry, I'm gonna let you take this away now. Roger Moore rocks up in a white tuxedo
Ah,
and
this is like this has got to be my favorite scene in the whole film. Like, I mean, I literally made like a meme video out of this. Like, this is this is like the Sigma moment of James Bond in general. Like, I think, I mean, in an ironic sense, where
if you're
he
listening on a podcast on Spotify or something, please go check out our YouTube channel. We'll have a video on the Wednesday. So this will come out on the Sunday, and then on the Wednesday, we'll have a video. Henry's made a video that will drop um, surrounding this
a
scene, and
remaster. Yeah,
due to that, I think, and the amount of times I've seen this film, I think that makes this scene my most watched ever Bond scene because I've seen this film so many times, and then because of your video, I've watched the scene so many.
it's just like
It's just absolutely brilliant.
it's
Like
so
everything
funny.
about
Like,
it, it's
because
just pure Bond.
all that happens. I mean, it sounds basic in concept, but just the
They're just
way
playing backgammon,
yeah,
like
the way that they play it off, obviously it's actors and so on. He's strolling into, this club where, like, I mean, there's a lot of generic kind of gambling scenes, but this is the one that takes the cake.
mm,
He like strolls in or like into like a really bad situation where like Kamal is like obviously cheating,
yeah,
and like rinsing this colonel, I think.
major.
Yeah, Major. He's just sitting opposite him. He's like, must be dumb as fuck to realize, oh, you always get a double six whenever you need it, and like it's
Yeah,
just
I
changing
find it
hands,
I find
with
it funny
dice.
how he's like the major's no novice. Yeah, he's a complete novice. He
Complete
doesn't
knowledge,
yeah.
man. Has he never seen someone use loaded dice?
And I do
just-
want to say, I think this is the best ever in the whole franchise delivered Bond, James Bond.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was
apart
gonna
from
say
Sean
that.
Connery's first one, but
because
this
it was
is.
such. Because it's
He
such a
says it with
ballsy.
such authority. This is like, it's just perfect. And the way he's just walked into the situation,
Yeah, exactly. Because like he's
and he's got it planned out in his head what he's gonna do.
because like the
And he
Major
just
is
says,
obviously
he delivers that line with such just pure confidence and just like, yeah, like everyone in the room, all the eyes are on him, and he's, James.
The
I love that.
confidence he has
because
in
like
this
yeah
scene in
the
general.
Major is
Yeah.
down 200 grand in rupees, but and like it's I'll take I'll take it from here, sit down while like the pro handles it, and obviously introduces himself like that. And initially, like obviously, like Kamal Khan's able to with his dodgy dice, um like rinse him initially, but then he pulls out the most bullshit rule ever, like where
It
he's like,
doesn't even exist. Like I saw it on a website for backgammon. They were like, "Yeah, James Bond used
you
the
can't
rule
actually
that
do
is
that.
not legitimate." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, he doesn't care. But the fact that he just like I guess not, I don't know how many people played backgammon and who knew the rules or not. But anyway, um he just like takes his dice after he says, "Oh, I'll need a great deal of luck. Then I guess I shall use player's privilege and then use your lucky dice." And then the best part I think about this is he rolls them and he doesn't even look to see for the double
Yes,
six.
yeah,
And
that's
like
right.
everyone, and like, I mean, I also I also missed out the part where he has to prove that he has the money to like actually play in this.
Yeah.
Just
And
whips.
as he puts down the Fabergé egg, like makes eye contact
Yeah,
with
he looks
everyone
at
as well.
everyone. Like there's a
It's brilliant.
360.
And you
Anyway,
have to like
Yeah,
hats off to Kamal Khan actually. Like he is a very understated villain, but he's playing a part as much as Roger Moore is, in
yeah.
terms of being able to
his
allow him to
reactions.
have this presence. He's like just able to bounce off his lines very well.
He's fuming by the end of this.
Yeah,
I like
He's
yes.
how
so livid, man.
I love
Like
the
the best
passive
part is, he,
aggressiveness. Like,
Mm,
spend the money quickly, Mr.
that's
Bond.
right. That's right.
and the best part is like not only does he like, not only does he beat him at that, he's in the middle of writing a check and he just says, "I prefer cash," like just to like piss him off.
To inconvenience him. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's an absolutely wonderful scene. Yeah, I don't know what more to say. And I mean, just the acting. I love, and Roger Moore looks superb, man, in that white tuxedo. That's his look. I mean, yeah, Sean Connery wears one, and so does Daniel Craig, and that's it to my memory. But Roger Moore really just pulls it off the best, I think.
No, Sean Connery wears a white tuxedo
Yeah, I
and
know.
a
That's what I said.
wetsuit. I thought you said Daniel Craig,
Yeah.
but this film is actually where he wears both tuxedos. So he
That's
wears
right.
a black one
That's
and a
right.
white one.
Yeah. But I think Roger Moore looks better in the white one. I
I
mean,
think so.
just
Yeah.
something about him, he just carries it so well. Actually, I do want to mention backgammon. For some reason, I watched a Turkish film last week, and a couple of chaps were playing backgammon in that as well. So there's a convenient coincidence for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we get into the tuk chase. I
Oh,
mean,
Yeah.
this is just right up there, man. Right up there.
to
I
right the
mean,
tuck.
where do we start?
I mean, there's
Jeez,
there's
I
so
cannot
much
wait.
that happens.
I'm going to India exclusively to ride in a tuk, man. That's like, what a day that'll be.
I don't even know how to like how you cover this scene because so much happens in it, and
Yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
the dialogue.
I was taking like I couldn't even watch the scene because I was like back and back to my notes like every single time.
Mm.
And I couldn't even look up. But there's so much great stuff, as I said.
So
Well,
much going on in this
I
scene.
really
You've
want to
got
know
like
like
Gobinder like wielding a blunderbuss, just like of all the weapons, but it fits so well. It's like a trumpet gun, man.
man,
You've got
it's like
you've got VJ playing tennis, like or no, like combating this guy with a tennis racket, right?
yeah,
You've
Bond
got
like trying
Bond
not to get
getting.
shanked.
You've got a moment which I remember watching as a kid, like, and I really like, when the guy stabs him,
I
and
thought he
I
got
was like,
stabbed.
oh
Yeah.
no, Bond's dead. Like that
Yeah.
got me, man. And then he pulls the knife out, and you've got the music and everything. It's so good, and the guy smiles and everything. Like the guy, yeah, I've killed James Bond, and then like Bond punches him in the face, and then like takes. And it's, what's going on now? It's amazing. Throws the money, lands in the
Lands
beggar's
Bang
bowl.
on the
yeah.
hard
It's
currency.
perfect.
Oh,
Yeah,
easy
Uh,
come, easy go. You got it's just
I thought that as
packed
well.
with great moments. The camel, what's going on?
Yeah, there's
Like,
like
there's
the guy who's like laying on a bed of nails. There's the guy
no.
swallowing
We
saw. The
jumped.
guy's like juggling like
Yeah.
Yeah,
toys.
yeah.
We're
Bond, he
jumping
goes,
too
oh,
much.
you better put this back yourself.
Someone tries to
Um,
someone tries to someone puts like a flower ring around him, and then someone else tries to let it do it to Gobinder, who just like pushes him out of the way.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
Yeah,
really cool. Like there's this. I like it when even when he like whacks him with the tennis racket. It's like the guys watching are like looking one way and then looking other like it's a tennis
Yeah.
match. And there's actually a bit where the cyclist goes in between them for like a
Yeah,
bit.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But did you know that was actually accidental? Like they thought it was
No
funny.
way.
That happened when they were filming. Thought it was funny,
There's
so they
no
just
such
left
thing
it
as a
in.
coincidence.
That's
And
amazing. That just
and
makes it even better.
it
It's like,
does.
can you? I don't know how you even plan something like this. Like, I don't know how what the storyboard looked like at all that they.
I mean, it's just genius writing. Honestly, like that's just great filmmaking, and it's them just being honest about what they want to make. They want to make something entertaining. They're not trying to be clever. They're just like having fun with it, and
There's
they
no
fully embrace what they just fully embrace what Roger Moore can bring to the table, and they just build everything around him. And it just everything works. Everything works.
There's no silly music either, like there was for the
Yeah, the
Fear
music's
Eyes Only
Oh man,
unconventional car chase, and
you even had well, like we even forgot the line. It was like, oh, at the very beginning, it's like, oh, we've got company. It's like, no,
Oh
yeah, it's a
this is
company
a
car.
company car. And then
That's
and then
starts
he
doing a
and then he
wheelie.
does what do you call it when
A
when
wheelie
they
in a tuck
a
tuck.
yeah,
wheelie.
that's right. It does a wheelie in a tuk tuk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And one thing that I think's really like creative and cool as well is when he gets into the crowd scene where he's trying to escape Govinda. I like how he uses like street performance stuff to like fight them off, and
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's very creative actually. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's a
Well,
pretty gross death though. The
this
guy
is as
getting
creative as it gets. Like they're using tuk tuk taxis. For goodness sake, I love it. And then obviously they disappeared behind this like advert of the dragons, like which sticks his tongue out at Govinda, and he's like gets angry at it. It's
yeah,
everything.
because like another one, it's like literally like saying out Looney Tunes, man. Like
Yeah,
like they
literally.
go right through it, and then another one pops out to cover it, and then
Yeah, it's
Carrie Betty,
everything about this is just perfect. I love this film, man.
yeah, I love it even more. This film, like Carrie Betty, actually, did you know is a Bollywood star, and that's how they got him into this
oh yeah, he
film.
had his own show. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Louis, this is changing topics a little bit, but Louis Jourdan was like friends of one of the producers, and then they were like, "Yeah, do you?" They basically just got him in like that, and yeah, and then we
Well, I
see
mean,
Q
he's
again.
very. I mean, he's a good-looking, tall, like
He literally is
well-built
like the
Indian
Giga
man. I
Chad,
mean,
like
I'm not surprised at all that he's like he was very successful there. I mean, and he's great in his role in this Bond film as well. Do you know what I like as well? I mean, they could have. Yeah, he's like the tall. I mean, he is a bit of a cliche in terms of being the tall, silent, but they don't make him silent. He has lines and he has like, but so they don't like try and make him too. They don't try too hard to make him like a trope. He is his own character and he does do it. And
yeah,
actually, I do
and
want
as
to point
well
out
He
of all
as
has
well.
the
good
We're gonna have
of all
moments.
to
the
wait. Sorry,
leaders of
we're
all
going to
the
have to nominate a Sigma. Most of it. I think Govinda. I mean Roger Moore's, but like Govinda is a pretty clear cut Sigma male. I
He
think.
just
is
because he hits women.
he's extremely like loyal to Kamal Khan, which we see the
That
extent of.
makes him
Well,
a bit of
actually,
a son.
No,
But
he
not really,
wins
because
at
he's
one point, so
um
um, I don't
and
know. I still think it has to be. It literally has to be that scene.
yeah, true.
that's a scene though. That's not a quote. I think my candidate
You
is
have to
like
make an exception for
Yeah,
this.
but there isn't a Govinda quote. I was just thinking the
there are
character itself is quite Sigma.
I think a few quotes from Kamal
We'll get to
Khan at
this.
the end.
We'll get to this at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something I also
So
wanted to
anyway,
mention with Gobinder as well. He, despite being like obviously in some ways the tall strong
Mhm.
henchman who doesn't say much throughout the film. Obviously has his lines. As a leader of the henchmen, though, he makes very
Mm.
smart decisions. Unlike
Yeah.
Jaws, for example, who like he doesn't have much up there. Like fucking pulls off the steering wheel and so on and so forth, and always nicks the guns because he needs to be the guy like shooting and so on. So
yeah, 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 yeah.
like Govinder's kind of like Jaws plus in terms of like,
Yeah, Govinder like saves his boss's bacon later, which we'll talk about
yeah.
Mhm.
when we're jumping all over the place. But he goes to Q next.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they go to Q's lab, and this is just like you just straight Smithers is there. You got the pun, Bond like, oh, problems, keep having trouble keeping it up, Q.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just all
very
these.
rude.
Experimental model double.
Yeah, that's right. It's so funny, and it is like just like it's just perfect. Like I don't even but
And I love all the gadgets they got around here as well.
yeah. This
That
is just
liquid
right.
crystal TV.
Do you know what I really enjoy? Obviously we're going to rank the allies later on in this film, and I think Q actually, goes a bit above and beyond in this film because Q gets a bit of field action. I think it's basically the only time he gets to be in the field.
Wrong. License
He
to Kill.
gets he in License to Kill as
Oh
well.
yeah, that's right.
Push 4 by 2.
But he does in this film he gets laid, so which he doesn't get in License to
Are you
Kill.
well, you didn't see it on screen,
Well,
so
we don't know that.
I don't know. I'd love that moment. It's like,
Bond
later,
fan 3 does
perhaps.
Q get laid in Octopussy?
Well, hopefully he didn't have troubles keeping up at that moment. He's obviously, and just great dialogue with Bond as always. So then, what do we have next? Dinner.
He goes.
Oh, that's
has
right. He goes
dinner with
to
Magda.
have dinner with Magda.
It's a really swanky hotel, by the way. Like if I
Yes.
go
Yeah.
to India, I want to stay at that hotel.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just, like,
right.
best place ever.
They go, so they have dinner. Then they go to bed. We have the famous line. I need refilling.
Which is apparently the most legendary line of all time.
It is quite funny.
We'll get the the name drop as well. It's like that's my little
Yeah,
octopus.
that's right.
You get a good
Octopus
reaction from Roger Moore.
Yeah,
when
just
he's-
saying,
Roger was all about reaction in this film.
yeah, exactly.
And that doesn't slow down because obviously the next morning she wakes up, nicks the egg from him, and then
Yeah, he
goes down
knows
the
that
balcony, and
can
Gobinder
clearly
knocks
see
him
in the
out.
mirror.
It's
Yep.
quite good for
Oh,
like
man.
Kamal Khan to actually pick her
But
up.
Roger Moore, Bond obviously lets her take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know, obviously, and it's the fact that he knows, he's not like,
Yeah.
and I love as well.
What's
I mean, it's
yeah?
part of the plan too. I love as well, like the bit where she kind of, like, he's got her at the balcony, and then she's like, oh,
Yeah.
I think he's the one who says, actions speak louder than
That's
words,
right.
and then she just like literally falls backwards off the balcony,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Do you know that's really
pussy
cool
tight.
though? That's
Go on.
do you know the actress for that was actually an athlete for like Sweden or something, and she insisted on performing that stunt herself. Like
Right.
I don't know, there's just an actress wanting to flex like her like
No, that's great
gymnastics.
because I thought that's quite a trick. That looks like quite a tricky stunt to pull. So
Yeah.
fair play to her. That's great.
It beats Awesome Worlds having to show off magic tricks in the middle of a, post.
Yeah. Didn't need reminding of that. So then, and then obviously with like they're aboard the boats, and you've got someone with quite a questionable voice going in, out, in,
Yeah,
out.
that
You've got
was
all
just
these
like taking the piss.
voluptuous, women like rowing. It's just
The whole
again, the word for
outrageous,
octopussy
yeah.
is outrageous, and
But that's what makes it so great.
yeah, exactly. It's just great.
It's the thing about this palace. I just want to say, like, first of all, it's interesting how the film like follows the villain for a little bit, like follows Kamal Khan instead of James Bond, and
Yes.
the thing when he goes through the palace, like there's almost like a dream-like quality to the palace. It feels so
Yeah.
surreal in a way, and then
Some
I
sort
like
of paradise.
yeah, I like when he goes to if you want to say anything about the palace, but like I like when he goes and sees Octopussy and the way she's introduced almost like a female Blofeld of sorts.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I like how he describes James Bond as well, like likes dice, preferably loaded, and likes eggs.
Yeah, which is very much
preferably
the pot calling the kettle black there, isn't it? But
yeah.
yeah, it is good how he meets Octopussy. And there's actually, I mean, the all-female island. There's quite a funny Rick and Morty episode which plays to similar theme. But anyway,
Quick shout out, by the
actually
way.
a real place in Greece where it's an all-male island, so it's not too far.
Yeah,
Not too far.
actually, I've got colleagues going to visit there soon, so that's interesting.
Oh, is that
yeah,
Mount
on a bit of a
Atlas?
pilgrimage. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
What's the train? Yeah, quick shout out though. She has the coolest pet ever. She has a pet blue ringed octopus.
Yeah, it's not like
which
the most deadly one.
it's the most deadly octopus and one of the most deadly animals. It can kill someone in like 15 minutes with its venom.
Okay. Well, question then: if you could own any pet from any of the Bond films, which one would you own? Because I'd have the piranha tank personally.
I'd have
Oh, if you trip over.
I have the octopus, but that
Quick
needs to
death,
be
innit?
that needs to be entertained.
Oh,
Because they actually get bored very easily. And yeah. And yeah, when I was first watching
I
this
would have
film,
Vargas just to bully him.
No, you need a pet. Although, nah, I wouldn't have a shark tank because I'd be too tempted to swim and then get eaten. I know piranhas would be pretty cool, man. It's like, although
I'd probably take
it's quite risky.
Franz Sanchez's like gecko looking thing.
The
what
lizard,
about
yeah,
Blofeld's cat?
Nah,
nah,
fuck.
boring.
What was it? Yeah. Yeah, when I first saw this film, because James had seen it before me because he was allowed to see it because he was older. I remember he was telling me about it
Oh
later.
yeah.
He's, yeah, you'll love this film. There's an octopus in it. I was like, yeah, I was like so excited for it. And then the only other thing he
First
said,
kill as well.
you're like, oh, it's a very cool film.
I
There's
have a bit
so
of a history of that because I tricked my ex-girlfriend into watching Zodiac with me because I was like, oh, Zodiac is probably about, astrology, and it's about a serial killer, so,
there's
but
and
anyway.
you're like, yeah, there's some
Oh,
with a
girls like
yo-yo
that anyway.
saw as well, which is very cool. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Different topic.
then Bond has dinner with Kamal Khan.
Yeah.
Scene, we've already touched on it, there
Funny
is quite
scene.
funny when Kamal Khan goes, I believe you and Miss Magda have met.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it was my pleasure.
Yeah,
Or some shit like
that's good. It's good. Actually, you
And
know what? Fuck, I mean, he's so well acted. It's just a pity he's not more of a villain. I mean, I want to see him do something where I'm like, yeah, fuck this guy, man. He's
I don't know.
almost got a bit of a charm about him, where I'm like, huh,
I don't mind that. Like, 'cause for this film, that kind of almost works. Like the fact
No,
that
it does
he's not.
work. Yeah, I just wish he did something a bit more. This is why when people complain, they've always got to have something like disfigured or so whatever about them. I, I think Kamal Khan would have actually benefited from something like that, just
Nah.
to make him a
Well,
bit
he
more
has to
visually
fit. He has to
memorable.
fit into society. That's the
yeah,
whole.
we get
Yeah,
his
but what if
like
he had an eye patch?
That would
no,
look
that's a
just
bit.
Take
ridiculous.
Largo's eye patch. Forget him. Yeah, give it to Kamal
Like
Khan.
I think he would look ridiculous. With
Kamal
that.
Khan would have to be an entirely different character for that to work, and
Yeah.
I think he's like perfectly fine as. I think he really fits in actually. Like I love the gruesome thing of well, if you're looking for something iconic, is how he pulls out a sheep's eye and eats it in that
Ugh.
mud, and
Oh
then
yeah,
like
it's always disgusting.
it's we
He
made a joke.
insists on eating a real eye from a sheep.
Yeah, he's definitely being like extra there. He's like, oh, it's our speciality, and then like just like yeah, pulls out the most unpleasant part you can think of to eat from the head, and then
I don't
just
know, man. Would you rather eat the eyes or the brains? Real question.
probably the brain.
Yeah,
Honestly,
same.
I wouldn't eat the
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah, you don't want your food staring at you, just like Roger Moore.
And then, so then after they've had dinner, Bond tries to escape from his room using a cool gadget, which for some reason isn't explained other than this, but it's like an acid pen. That's
Man,
pretty
they
cool.
explained it earlier.
And that's the
Did
pen
they?
that yeah,
Pay
they did.
attention, 007.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah. How did I forget that?
It's I like he uses his gadgets in this film quite a lot. He
Very
uses
Oh
practically.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love
yeah.
those gadgets.
Yeah. And he sees all of Meet Kamal Khan.
Or hears them.
Yep. And then he goes and hides in a room with bodies. I'm not really sure what that room's doing
Oh
there.
no no
Why
no.
they're fresh
We
corpses every day.
got to explain something here. This is
Go
looks
on.
like you've
Yeah,
missed
I
it.
only realised it this viewing.
Yeah, so basically when you get little hints of it, the two guys there who are doing the jewels, um, they've done it for Kamal Khan, right? So they have the fake jewelry to replace the real ones with. And then when they're taking it out, you hear General Orlov say, "Oh, can they be trusted?" And then Kamal Khan's like, "I can assure you of their silence." And then when they go out, when they go put the stuff in the helicopter for General Orlov, you see like Goblin's head turning with like murder in his eye, basically. And then later you just see him go back into the room where Kamal Khan is, and Kamal goes, "Everything taken care of," and he's like, "As you ordered, Excellence." And then later when James Bond goes to the room, it's just them two have been
Oh man, that's another
I
And
thing.
never
stuck
picked up on that.
and stuck
Wow.
on meat hooks there. So I think
Brilliant.
that that really adds to Kamal Khan's villainy. Like the
I
way
never
he
picked up on that. I just because I was wondering why has he got fresh corpses in this room? Oh, okay.
they're stuck on meat hooks and everything as well. Very
Yeah.
And the
just
fact that he has that, right? Because he obviously goes on a hunt later, and they
Yeah.
always have these body bags. This assumes that he does it on a regular basis too.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and this is how I explain like Kamal Khan noticing the really tiny microchip as well, because when
Hmm.
he's had these people killed and you see like carcasses outside his place, he's probably intercepted people like poking their noses around his business before. um and yeah, I think that really adds that moment when you realize like how ruthless Kamal Khan has been to these people who he probably only just had to pay a bit to, like
Hmm.
that probably adds to his villainy a bit
Just
for
as
me.
paranoia, you know.
Yeah.
That's the
So
thing when you mentioned as well. Sorry, James. The fact that
go on.
Not Kamal Khan, Govinda, like the credit to him as well. The fact that his like, I don't know always the face that he pulls, like he really does like that look of murder on his face, like, and I don't know how he pulls it off. He just does, like throughout multiple times throughout this film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Bond does manage to escape by, I mean, in a very funny way. I mean, you know, even when they slam his body down, he goes, oh, and they look at each other. It's just funny. It's
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
slapstick sort of stuff, but it just works. Um, Obviously escapes, and then we have an elephant
it's
chase. Sorry,
it's really
Yeah, the hunt.
creative.
very
Yeah, this
creative,
it's
brilliant.
like let the sport commence, and like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
good moment earlier when Gobbler rushes into Kamal Khan's room. He's like, the Englishman has escaped. Like I like when they do the Englishman
I
thing,
know,
and
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to comment actually, even on a Majesty Secret Service when they're Das England has it, it's like, oh yeah, I love that,
Yeah.
man. It's just, I love that as well. I want someone to say that about me, like
I like
I
as
would like
well.
to think that I'm referred to as the Englishman behind my back, sometimes that would be
I know I am
as
by
next
some.
pat.
Yeah.
This is the thing as well that I love with. Sorry, Tom. What are you saying?
No. Go on. I'll remember.
This scene is something I love with Kamal Khan as well when he's just like Bond's escape, but he doesn't see this as like a negative. This is an opportunity to like
Yeah,
kill him in a
Yeah,
ridiculous way.
I
And it's
think.
like it's
Yeah,
fun for him, like just to hunt like a
yeah.
guy down like this,
I
which
think. Yeah,
again shows a bit more villainy.
it
But
it does to me as well. Like you see, like I think you see like Kamal Khan being a bit off the hook here when instead of
Hmm.
being like outraged that James Bond's escaped, you just see like a grin of delight almost, and then he's like, "Let the sport commence." And then this is like a really twisted take on like a regular hunting trip where
well,
instead of
they're
them
pretty
hunting
twisted anyway.
an animal, like James Bond is the quarry, and like it works really well, I think, like because
Hmm.
they're in his palace grounds presumably, and they're just like, I don't know, they pin James Bond down like quite a few times, and James Bond runs into like animals and stuff, and it's Roger Moore you see as well, like running
Hmm.
through the jungle doing all this, and I don't know, it's really believable despite how like crazy the circumstances
Oh
are.
yeah,
Yeah. Now, Tom, I'm
Roger
waiting for
Moore
you to
really
justify the
swings the knife
Tarzan
around.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me hear this.
my apologia for this moment is so basically he's mocking the villains for having bad aim and just doing that
Oh.
to show off, like it's like, oh, and then they're just shooting and obviously like missing, but like all the guards are shooting at him and then he gets away, and that's just, I don't know, it's just Roger Moore in this film has so much confidence in everything he
Yeah.
does. This makes it believable. Like he does that in the auction, he does that in the gambling scene, he does it
Yeah.
here, and like he does it, I think.
I've got to say though,
Yeah,
Roger Moore must have a very if you were to think that, you'd have to think that James Bond has like the vocal kind of
Oh yeah.
variance to pull off something like this. I mean, he
Yeah.
does it later on in this film as well with the tiger rug. So you know,
there's a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
interesting facts as well. So like, when the tiger shows up and he's like,
oh,
first you
it's the
see,
trivia about.
Go
no,
on.
no, no, there's two bits of trivia about the tiger actually. So when you first see it rush out the trees, that's actually it's a model. They do it really quickly, and but it's so quick you don't really notice it's a model.
Yeah, I
And
didn't.
they got this from the like local Maharaja, whose grounds they were filming this in, because they needed like a scene with a tiger, because
Hmm.
like Bengal tiger,
Yeah.
and then he was like, and he had this really realistic stuffed looking animal on display, and then he said they could use that for the scene, and so they just had a scene of it just rushing out the trees like that, and then I think
Wow.
it works extremely well. And the bit where he's like sit is a bit more well known, but that's a reference to some really obscure 80s
Pet
English
show.
commercial for like dog training, where there's this woman called Barbara Woodhouse who teaches these apparently very bad like tactics to train your dog, like raising your hand to say sits like that, and then Roger Moore's kind of mocking it by doing it in the exact same way she does. So
All right.
that's
I don't know
yeah.
why you would use, tactics to calm a dog down on a more of a cat species, but
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so then, I mean, what have we said everything about the elephant chase, or
yeah,
we'll
there's
move
a
on?
lot there's a lot to say about it. I mean, it's better to watch it even.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And the fun's not over
the
because
when it ends, man, it's so fun.
Bond goes to go and meet Octopussy face to face,
Oh man,
and he does so.
That's the best part at the end.
Yeah, the bit where he goes
Goes
on
where
the
he's like he's
tourist boat.
rushing out to the boat. He's proper
Oh
like
yeah,
desperate
sorry.
as well, man. I love like he gets on there, and obviously they can't kill him in front of all these people because it's
He's
a
on the
reputation.
economy tour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's a
like,
great
oh,
line.
are you with another group? It's like, no, man, I'm with the economy tour.
We get a good line
Brilliant.
from Kamal Khan as well, which is like,
Yeah.
Mr. Bond is indeed a very rare breed, soon to be made extinct, which I really like because
Oh,
it
That's right. It's a good one.
it
He's not
fits
even
in.
mad as well. Like he's just like, oh well, yeah, I made him shit
just-
himself and get there. I could just
Yeah.
kill him later.
Okay, so then Bond is going to attempt to go and meet Octopussy using a crocodile submarine, which is just
Yeah,
like the lid opens up the mouth and then Roger Moore's face poking through, and I love that.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it
Again,
is
it's just the most
amazing.
Roger Moore thing, man. Like, who came up with that? So, obviously, a very tense moment as he's going to meet the mysterious Octopussy. But before he does so, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh
it's
man,
time for License to Quiz.
I want to play a game.
Do you like how I segue in there?
Yeah.
yeah.
So, obviously, the current score line between Tom and Henry is
2-2.
2-2.
2-2. So, I'm expecting Tom to win this one, actually.
Yeah,
due
I'm
to
gonna
this.
it too.
I'm gonna try my best. This
So,
film I've seen
I've
most
got some
of any
pretty good
film.
questions. I'm pretty happy with the questions I've got here. So, the budget.
Right. I think thing is this is the film I've probably seen most in my life of any film. So like I've seen some stuff around it. I'm gonna guess 25 million because that's what I'm trying to. No, actually,
I'll say 25 million if you're going to change it.
I'm gonna say 20 million because I can't remember quite perfectly.
Okay, you're both done.
Yeah.
27.5 million. Henry, you
Oh,
take the point
no.
there. Now, what was the box office for this film?
Man,
I
this could
think-
be anything.
Why did I change my answer? I'm gonna say I think I remember this. This did better than For Your Eyes Only, and it did almost the same as View to a Kill. So I think so. Like I think 160. If I remember, 163 million dollars worldwide.
Okay, Henry.
I think that's a bit much to me. I'm like trying to figure this out with comparing to 1980s money as well. I'd probably go with something like 140 million.
Well, you're both way off, but Henry's closer. It made 67.9 million.
Really?
Oh
Man,
wow.
this is
Yeah.
prime, man.
And that's certainly thanks to For Your Eyes Only. So, you know. So that's 2-0 to Henry.
That's my memory fee.
How many knives do those twins throw between them in this film? And I'll help you out. They throw knives at 008. Sorry, 009. They throw knives at each other. They throw knives at Bond as well. So how many knives do you reckon they throw between them?
16.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say, I'm gonna say, I was gonna say something just like that. I'm gonna say, I don't even know, 15.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, either 15 or 17.
You have to pick one.
I'm gonna say 17.
Sure, you both like definitely
Yeah, I'm
done.
sure.
No, I'll stick with 15. First guess.
Okay. Those are the final answers. Tom 15, Henry 16. The answer is
Yeah.
20. So
What?
yeah,
Oh,
Where,
20.
where did the extra 4 come from?
When Misha, one of them is practicing
Oh,
in the
oh
train.
no.
Yeah, he
Well,
throws
without
two at that
without
moment.
without practicing, what would it be?
18.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh yeah, because he
you know.
throws one back to him as well during that. Anyway,
Yeah, that's right as well. So
Got
I think
that
that's
back.
a good question. I think. Okay, so 3-0 to Henry. So Tom, you still got a chance, but you're gonna have to pull your socks up now. How much was Bond's first bid in the auction for the Fabergé egg?
320,000. No. 425. 425,000.
So it's 325,000.
No, he says 425. You
Yeah,
busy.
Tom's bang on.
All right.
£425,000. So there he goes, pulling back 3-1.
I don't hype it up.
Okay, 3-1. So 3 more questions. Which city do Bond and the girl at the beginning agree to meet in once? Them,
Miami.
Yeah.
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 Whatever.
Okay, well there you go. Henry's taking it. Henry's winning 4-1 now. Tom can still get this for pride though.
Yeah, if you get it down to 1 between.
Yep. What is the radius of the bomb?
I don't know.
Like
20
how far away should
miles.
they be when it goes
20
off?
miles.
I
Yeah,
said
20
20
miles.
I said 20 miles first. Whatever.
You can always do VAR if you want.
I think it's kind of a moot point at this stage. Final question, though, it's quite fun. I should have probably done this earlier, but since we've just done the elephant chase, how many different animals does Bond come across in
5.
this?
4.
Yeah, can you name them all for bonus point?
The
Leech,
leeches,
the spider, the
tigers,
tiger,
spider,
the snake,
snake,
and the alligator
elephant.
following him.
Oh, actually, there's 6 then. I
And
Well,
forgot the
Tom got it
tiger.
closer anyway.
So you've got elephant, spider, tiger, crocodile, snake, and leech. So
yeah, I said those.
yeah.
Nice.
So there you go. So that's License to Quiz. Henry has won quite comprehensively, actually, and that takes him to lead of 3-2. But don't worry, Tom, you do have 3 more films to go to catch up. So we're back, and Bond comes face to face with Octopussy, who ends up being a familiar face because it's Maud Adams again.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
I
glad
don't think the character's quite as good this time. Octopussy is kind of better before you meet her, and then when you do meet her, she's like,
Yeah, I think they
I
should
don't-
have kept to the mysterious bit for longer.
yeah, I think her character. I think Maud Adams is much better as Miss Anders. I think Octopussy's okay, but
I think it's the fact that it's kind of the way that she, has like a go at him, but then falls for him like 2
yeah,
seconds
it's
later.
just
That's the
that kind of
problem.
trope in it. I think she does look physically like very good for. Again, it's kind of like Lois Maxwell. They kind of she's not spring chicken. But she's not like old in it. She just looks like a mature
More,
lady,
no,
right?
more
And
appropriate
just
for
like a fitting partner for Roger Moore.
Yeah.
And also it's kind of like not looking similar. I mean, not as much as Lois Maxwell, but still like have
yeah.
that kind of.
She's definitely more appropriate than
complexion.
in the previous film.
Oh yeah, and the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Octopussy's okay. They meet up and they're like chatting about the old days. They are like a pair in a retirement home, man, just like nattering on. This is probably the slowest part of the film. This is I just checked my phone during this moment. It's kind of boring. But it's over pretty quickly because Kamal Khan, walks in on them, gets cut hard, man.
Yeah.
And the reason I think this is because you get this shot of him when he leaves the room, and he looks so angry. I actually think like there's more to that. I see it in his eyes, man. It's like he's always wanted to bang Octopussy, and like he's just been such a good servant and stuff. And then he's like, maybe it's not at this point, but maybe at this point he decides he is going to betray her because maybe he was thinking, yeah, I'll let her in on the secret eventually, and then he goes, nah, fuck her, man. She's going up with the bomb.
Maybe you might be right there. Interesting theory.
Yeah.
But I love as well. It's like Bond has escaped, and she's like, "Oh, how careless!"
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, meet my house guest.
An old friend of the family, like
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she has a
Unbelievable.
massive exposition bit about her backstory, which is like,
Yeah, I'm like,
explains
don't care.
the contact between her and Bond, but it's like
Yeah.
All right.
So
I
Kamala
guess
Khan
it's
goes and decides to hire a gang of, you know, like street thugs, basically. One of whom carries his weapon of choice as a
Buzzsaw.
yo-yo buzzsaw, which is pretty cool. And I think that
Pull that on your ops.
it's one of the few things that ties together all three of the franchises we've covered, Henry.
Oh yeah.
As well as actually, this film does two of those things because you have the Saw kind of theme going on, which
Yeah.
obviously Saw, and now I'm trying to think in Batman when they use a saw.
It's like well, they don't use a yo-yo kind of weapon. To
Yeah, but
throw
they must
objects.
use a saw at some point. Okay. Do
You
they?
could probably find it. There's probably in like a Batman animated like series episode, someone uses something like that.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Like, Batman must use a saw at some point in one of the films.
I don't know. It seems like a bit of a lethal weapon, you know. Let's look at like a Michael Keaton film, see if he like cuts someone in half and then just laughs off.
Well, anyway, besides, we do also get clowns, which is obviously there's certainly a clown in Batman, and in Saw, you do kind of get Billy the Puppet's kind of like a weird clown, isn't he?
Well,
I don't know.
this is a
Maybe I'm reaching, but anyway, so then we get the Saw gang. They have the photograph of Bond there, and they're like, yeah, the woman must not be harmed, and the guy's laughing, you know, with his like crooked teeth and eyes
yeah.
and stuff.
Would you say, James? Someone says on Twitter earlier the Tobin Bell's a Bond villain, maybe.
Oh, could you imagine that?
Put Bond through a saw trap.
Wow. Well, yeah. You kind of get a bad version of that in Spectre, don't you? But
Yeah, well,
in
that's not
fact,
fucking saw trap. That's
in
just
Spectre,
terrible.
they basically use an actual saw trap from. Well, we'll talk about it. When
Well,
we get
yeah,
there.
we will talk about it, but
Oh
anyway.
yeah, I know. You're looking forward to that
Yeah,
one.
we'll talk about it just a bit.
Yeah, we'll touch on it.
Light
Um.
conversation.
So yeah, so then okay, I'm gonna sort of chop this up a little bit, but we get like the saddest part of the film, but like the build up to it is obviously Q and VJ. They're like, well, they're taking it in turns to be Bond's sort of point of contact.
Yeah,
So
Desmond
they're like,
Llewellyn is definitely not on a set in Pinewood here.
yeah. And Q's stood there fishing. He's having the time of his life, I reckon. You know, he likes to be grumpy, but he's just chilling fishing, man. You know, what would he rather be doing in that moment? I think. And VJ comes to relieve him, of course. Unfortunately, very sadly, VJ is killed by the by Gobinder's gang, basically.
Yeah, man. It's like this is like of all the Bond like allied deaths, man. This made me like genuinely sad. Like I was like,
It made me sad and angry. I'm like, I want to fuck them up now, man. I want to watch all of them die. Like, why would you kill VJ? He's like the nicest guy, man.
yeah. As well as like this reminds me of even like one of the things that Q said to him was like, don't let him teach you any of his bad habits. Like when it
Yeah,
comes to
that's
Bond
right.
as well.
And you've
It's
got,
just
Bond, on an island populated exclusively by women. We won't see him until dawn.
yeah.
Good opportunity there to use that.
So,
But yeah, sadly, VJ is killed off. And I do like the fact, I'm skipping forward a bit, but Bond does get the chance to mourn him briefly, which is a lot more that can be said for some of the previous,
yeah.
sacrificial
Bond doesn't
lambs.
even know they died half the time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, VJ is like, he has a moment of like grief there, which is, reassuring to see in a way. But Bond does fight off the Saw gang with Octopussy and the actual octopus as well.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
No, it's a good fight. It's ticks all the boxes, sort of thing, doesn't it? Including the octopus assassin, like dry humping that guy's face. Well, actually, probably not dry, but yeah, it's like that action where it's sucking on the guy's face, man. It's like, oh,
yeah, that must be painful. Because Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but the suckers on an octopus also have teeth on them, right? Oh, he's muted. Never mind.
Okay.
I think that's the case at least. I think.
Yeah, it's got octopuses have a beak, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Oh, I don't even want to imagine what I did to him.
Oh, he's getting face fucked by an octopus, man. That's bad, isn't it?
It's not like he's getting eaten by one.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine that? That's and just like you've got the sound as well. The sound design there, it's just like
yeah, and it has like another shot of like that guy getting eaten as well. Like, I like the fight though. It's like
Yeah, it's good, man. Like with the
he's
saw and
tripping
everything.
people
Like,
over, man. It's like, and it's like for how old he is in
mm,
this film, he pulls it off really well. Like the
that's
work and
right.
everything that goes into it.
He escapes in the crocodile submarine.
Oh
Once
yeah, because I realized like I thought, how did Bond get off this island as well again? Because like Octopussy wasn't gonna let him leave. Like you got to stay here for at least a
Oh
week.
yeah.
It's just like
It's just
fakes his own
ridiculous.
death.
It's outrageous. Once again, like what is that? And then he just steps out of it so casually later. I absolutely love it, man.
Yeah, like
Um,
I assume that he killed, the guy. There wasn't always that. Does Q's like alligator robot thing like actually have a function where it looks like it's a real one, where it twists around and shit? But I don't know.
yeah, maybe dispatches like a real crocodile from part of it.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Q. Yeah, that's why Q has to be in range, man. He's on the coast, like operating it.
Yep. Um, So yeah, and then he sees like VJ's been killed. Oh, and you have the really horrible moment where Q goes, "He was alive when I found him," and you're like,
That's
"Fuck,
so
man, this
fucked
guy
up.
like suffered as well." Like that really that's what annoys me the most. I'm like, nah, they done VJ dirty, man. Like I want justice for VJ, like
And
hard.
you want to see those guys get like curb stomped, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
actually, to be
literally,
fair,
man.
one got eaten alive by an octopus, so fair enough.
Yeah, but I just wanted a bit more like, oh, I don't know. It is what it is, man. I think the important thing is you do have a moment of like, remorse or not remorse,
Somberness.
but yeah, somber. Like like you have the music and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that's a shame. Then
Yep.
Bond goes to East Berlin
Yeah.
because he found a lead from Octopussy's drawer. Um,
Yeah,
he
in
meets
Karl
M.
Marx
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
because
He
they can't
meets
think
M
of
in
it
the
anywhere in
taxi,
German.
and
We'll
they
just have
go and they're like, oh, going to the circus. So, and there's a great line where M goes, "Well, 007, you're on your own now." It's like, oh, thanks for the reassuring words.
yeah.
There, that's a real comfort.
I love that, man.
Yeah, it's great. Um, so then he sees, the bomb is there's a bomb that gets planted on a train, which is carrying all the circus gear, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the music with this as well.
yeah, it's
Like the
great.
kind of the bomb theme in
The
this.
film completely changes tonally. Actually, it goes from like this kind of like jolly sort of Indian atmosphere, very exotic, very warm, very colorful, very like I said, exotic, where you just like Bond's exploring this country and these faces. It's just like very interesting. They really make the most of it. They sell
Yeah.
it so nicely.
Yeah, and
And
it
then you've
goes
got to like this and then you have a tone the opposite, like
like
cold. Um,
dangerous,
yeah,
quite
like
depressing.
yeah, exactly. Like
I actually really like this. The fact that now that you bring out the fact that these are the two main locations out of the film,
mm,
they really contrast each other
yeah,
perfectly.
it's
I
chalk and
think.
cheese, isn't it? And you've
Yeah.
got what's interesting as well. That actually Bond tonally changes as well, because like I said, especially in the opening, but throughout the Indian, he doesn't really like he doesn't kill anyone in cold blood. He's not very, he's like there's nothing particularly violent. I mean, obviously, yeah, a VJ's death is violent, but Bond doesn't care that. Bond in general is just he's dispatching of people without, I mean, he burns the guy's ass on the coals and stuff like that. Um,
Mhm.
but actually, when he's in East Berlin, then he starts like shooting people in the face and stuff, man. It's like
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's a lot more.
it's really a credit to him as well. The fact that because throughout a lot of these like previous films as well, like in The Man with the Golden Gun, and it's particularly that like try to make him out as like some sort of like cold-blooded killer, but and they don't really do that as successfully as I think here, for example, but like Roger Moore has actually shown he can flip on a switch. Like it feels like these are not just the locations as well. It's like they've somehow successfully stitched together two different films, like,
Mm,
but it's like seamless kind of. It's not like it's like really obvious, but the fact that I didn't even really notice the obvious change in how he behaves, um, and his dispatching of the goons and
mm,
so on and so forth.
yeah.
Like
Yes.
he's interrogating like General Orlov as well in the train.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. He confronts Orlov on the train. Yeah, it's a great conversation. It's the only time that Bond and the I mean Kamal Khan. Yeah, he's the main villain in this film, but Orlov is also kind of. I mean, when we rank them, we'll rank them together, I think. And it's kind of like, I don't want to spoil future films, but you do get kind of villain team ups where you don't have like a distinct main one. It's kind of two or even three of them. And you kind of, I think this is I think this is the first film where that really happens.
I mean, look at For Your Eyes Only, man. They're like 50 in
Oh
that.
yeah, sorry, of course. Yeah, literally the last film we reviewed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's that
yeah.
big, so.
But this is the only time he comes face to face with Orlov, which is quite interesting. And he's a
It's
big
really
character,
good.
obviously.
It's like the acting is like the fact that like Orlov's like, yeah, you can't stop this, like nothing's gonna.
Orlov's desperate. He's like, it's better than letting. He's like, and you can see he's like, at the end of the day, he's a patriot. He's like, well, he genuinely believes in the cause. That's what always makes a good villain for me. When they really believe in the cause. I mean, Orlov is the hero of his own story, right?
Yeah.
And his dying words, he actually dies happy, basically, because he dies believing he's the hero of the Soviet Union, and he's like saved his country. That's really, and that is his motivation. He's like really doing what he thinks is best for his people.
Yeah.
Which I think that
and it's his acting
goes
as
a long
well.
way for me in terms of like a convincing villain. Always, obviously.
Because like he looks like he's like visibly sweating in this as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's literally just trying to buy time until someone knocks on the door and distracts Bond, and like he really gets out of that by the skin of his teeth, man. Like Nixon's just screaming like kill him, like
yeah, that's
like
right.
we have like 50 Soviets running around.
So obviously the actor for all of Steven Berkoff is an English guy who's also in A Clockwork Orange, like randomly, and in Brass Eye, which is just like so out there, man. Like, I'm like a bit of a I love my British sitcoms, and like the fact he pops up in Brass Eye is like mad. But yeah, there you go. Would highly recommend that if you haven't seen it. It's Christopher Morris. It's like 6 or 7 mockumentaries, and it's the same guy who directed 4 Lions. So
Nice to know.
anyway, so Orlov gets to explain the plot to Bond.
Yeah.
and then the killing starts basically. They're all shooting each other in the face. Then Bond and Orlov, they're on the train and stuff, and so they're like Orlov pursues in the car, and then Bond gets in one of his cars as well, and he's
Bond
driving
whips his car because it's got the jewelry in it.
Yeah, and he's driving it on the train tracks. I don't know how feasible that really is,
And
but
man, this is the thing. Like they did it in Top Gear. It's possible.
yeah, but they have to like custom build the car. You can't just get any car to do that.
Yeah, I know, but you never know. Like, I mean, honestly, as well with Soviet cars, they probably just use the same wheels.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. What
it's
always confuses me is why does the train track like station guy? Why does he change him onto different lanes?
probably because he thinks the car's like just gonna crash right into the back of that train.
Yeah, but that's surely less disruptive than what's inevitably going to happen when a train like has a head-on collision.
I know, but maybe this guy on the East Germany can see this guy's like clearly a criminal, so he's just gonna get him killed by the next train.
Yeah, but I mean, I know like those trains are pretty sturdy, but like I mean, I'm not buying like the. I mean, in this, it's very exaggerated. It's not focused on, so they get away with it. But like the way the car like literally flies like it's a piece of paper, man. Like,
true. But I mean,
that's not happening. But those
this is not the
those
last
trains
time
back, those steam trains are like proper plows, aren't they? So yeah.
I mean, this is not the last time you see a train destroy a vehicle on the train. So
absolutely. But Bond does jump on the train at the last second. Well, you know what this film does really successfully? I forgot to mention earlier with something that reminded me of Goldfinger. But I mean, this film does it throughout the entire thing. It just reinvents classic Bond moments where it's just, okay, we've seen this before and we're doing it in a different way. And they do that so many times, just so successfully. It's not trying to do anything too clever, anything too new. It just does tweaks on what's already been done before. There was a moment from Goldfinger which has escaped me now, but worked
when
really well.
Goldfinger crushes the dice.
Yeah, that's right. Completely forgot about that. Yeah. No, there was something in particular, but it escaped.
Was it to do with? Is it like a parallel of something in this scene?
No, not in this scene. It was earlier, but it doesn't matter. So then, yeah. So this train scene is happening. Bond's, along the side of it and stuff. It's like, pretty tense. Um,
Oh yeah, when he's
all
falling
of
onto the side, I'm pretty sure they severely injured the stunt worker doing this.
oh really? Oh,
I
I'm
mean, not the
surprised.
first time, but still.
Orlov is in pursuit, and he gets out, and eventually, I mean, he's running after the train.
I like how when he's pursuing, you can see him going crazy in the car.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's silent.
Yeah, there's no audio, but yeah, you could just see him like
Yeah,
shouting.
you can
Like,
still
could
hear
just-
him. Goggles in pursuit as well.
That chopper, you know.
Yeah, who basically Orlov gets killed, not by Goggle, but he doesn't really
Well,
do
he
much
gets
to
killed by
save himself.
American troops because he's crossing into
Oh yeah,
West.
American territory. Yeah, that's right.
He
Uh,
and he has the most, I don't know, over the top, poetic, dramatic death you could think of. For a
It's
Bond.
brilliant though. I think
Yeah.
of all the of all the Bond villain deaths, this is like one of the best in terms of just and like I said before, he basically wins. Like he dies as far as he's concerned. He's the hero of the Soviet Union. So those are his last words. He must be like pretty. He's like he doesn't know any better
Euphoric.
afterwards. So
Yeah, because he's dying. Like the smuggling of jewels doesn't matter anymore. But he knows the main thing will happen, at least in his mind.
exactly.
We get
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we get a scene where where Kamal Khan is outlining when the bomb's going to be exploded, and he says
Oh yeah.
it's now 11:45, and then James Bond checks his watch to see if Kamal Khan's got the time right, which is
Oh yeah.
quite funny. It's
Yeah.
very, very Roger
Because
Moore.
Bond is like disguised as the in that same monkey suit they use in Diamonds Are Forever. I'm pretty sure.
Is that right?
I think so. Like, because I saw a shot of it in Diamonds Are Forever, and they look like the same suit.
Huh.
I mean,
Wow.
it's not every day you use like a gorilla.
Yeah,
pump
it's just
suit.
knocking around in Pinewood Studios somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He is in the gorilla suit. And then we basically,
Oh, it's a great fake out. Like, because
yeah. It kicks
Goblin
off
don't matter. He doesn't miss a trick.
and it does lead to the fight. Another train fight kicks off basically.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Again,
he's
it's
already
just
knocked out.
remixed in a completely different way. Very entertaining, obviously, with the twins, but also mainly Govinder as well.
Yeah, because he's already knocked out. Well,
Yeah.
maybe killed Grishka, I think,
Yep.
because he's like stuffed him in the cannon. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Which isn't addressed later on because they use the cannon. At some point, someone must have looked in there and gone, "Oh, that doesn't belong there." you know,
Well,
let
they're
me
probably just
just.
like, oh, the amount of accents you have in the circus, fuck it, you know.
It does
Yeah.
get addressed because there's an inspector at the border who looks down it, and yeah, he must have either decided.
Oh. Oh, okay. I missed. Why did
Yeah,
I
it would
miss
have been a
some of
bit
the
awkward
stuff?
if they're parading that around outside the
Yeah,
circus.
exactly.
Just like,
Um,
shoes are sticking out there. Oh, just the maintenance man, you know.
yeah. And anyway, so yeah, this train fight obviously culminates in Bond being pursued into the woods, very much like 009
Yeah, it's like
uh, by one
it's
of
like
the
a callback
twins.
to the beginning, actually. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
something
same
that
music and everything. It's
Deja
just
I really
vu.
like it because it's like,
yeah.
there's something they do as well throughout the Bond series. It's like, I mean, most obviously in From Russia with Love, where they have, someone, Red Grant killing Bond in quotation marks. But, for example, Scaramanga killing, the
Yeah,
guy in his fun house.
not
And,
002.
yeah. And, I mean, there are probably other examples as well. I just can't think off the top of my head. Um, in the way that it's kind of like setting up for a part where Bond will be in the same
Mhm.
position, but
Mm,
which adds the tension to it. Because like you've seen someone get killed like this, or and then you can imagine how that would go out. Like you can already like also complete Bond dying in this, but he
yeah.
doesn't obviously. So
And the way Bond gets out of it is very like, oh, it's like right on the edge. This is the thing about the whole plot of the film as well. Like, Orlov is actually like literally a split second away from pulling off his scheme as well. Like, an actual split second, which is like amazing. This film's really, and then obviously the next thing you see is Bond hitchhiking. So
yeah, Germany man, he's fucking it up.
he's getting mugged off by these like German kids, and everything. Like,
If that were me, man, if I got mugged up by these good guys, I'd be like, yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna like take off in another car and then leave you guys to burn.
Yeah. And then he gets stuck in like a car with like the most stereotyped Germans as well. It's
Yeah,
like,
man, like they're offering him like bread, sausage, beer,
uh,
the drink.
no, what's the German sausage called?
There's a lot of them.
Frankfurter.
Yeah, Frankfurt. What's the one they stick on the door in Peep Show?
Of Wurst, I don't know.
Actually, no, that is just a normal. They put like a sausage on there. It's like, you know, the sausage guzzling krauts. Oh, what
Sausage munches or something.
Yeah, and you've got you know, what do you call them? Krauts. You know, yeah. But that comes from the German sausage. Anyway, just
Okay,
very
exactly.
stereotypical. They're very amusing. Oh yeah, Kamal Khan's obviously they're all in the circus as usual, and you know Bond's never going to miss a chance to like poke fun at Americans. So you've got this like really like low IQ, loudmouth American general who's like, "Oh, I'm sure they're going to blast out of this."
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, I gotta leave. By the way,
there's a good moment when they're leaving, where like Gobinder and Kamal Khan get into the car and
oh
it doesn't start initially. That was
Do you reckon
actually
that was improvised?
it was improvised, and
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
that wasn't
Yeah.
actually planned, and then they left it in the film.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
because I like that bit because they both remain in character. Like
Yeah.
they both kind of like,
Yeah.
look at each other. It's like, oh fuck, and then the car actually starts. You know, like
Yeah.
they're just thinking, oh, we're gonna have to steal someone's car in this. You know.
That's amazing that that's improvised because that's always a scene that got me like as a kid, you know, watching it like, oh, you know, like it's just such a small thing, but yeah, that's amazing. Like that combined with the bicycle early, you know, and you can imagine how much Roger Moore adds in his own sort of bits as
Oh,
well.
Yeah, 'cause,
Wonderful.
like Bond like nicks someone's car basically, which is like
And what I like is it's like the
Sorry.
director for this film, John Glenn, I believe his name is, who also did For Your Eyes Only. He did a few of these Bond films that were coming to in the 80s. And you know, great directing to allow all these things to sort of happen. You know, because you get, I mean, directors these days, I mean, for all the time, but directors, you know, can be very controlling, very, you know, very stubborn, making sure
James
they get their
Cameron,
own
maybe.
way. And what's great with these films is very evident that the directors just kind of allowing things to, you know, allowing the actors to put their own spin on things. I mean, you know, like with the tennis stuff, what you mentioned
Random
about
cyclist,
Magda,
you know.
right? It's just allowing these things to, you know, and just you know, it doesn't always work, of course, in some films, but in this film, I think everything works, and you know, hats off to the director for that as well, of course.
Mm.
So yeah. Put it right there. Escapes with
Bond nicks a car.
yeah. Oh, and as they're escaping, of course, they see Bond driving the other way as well,
Yeah.
which is good.
I love that bit from like Kamal Khan as well. He's like, you know,
Yeah.
like Govinder's like, mate, that was Bond. He's like, great, he'll be late and we'll
Yeah.
get rid of him too.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, Orlov and Kamarka, they have like a complete faith that this thing will carry out. You know, I mean, and again, they were so close.
Yeah, because
You can
realistically
be
speaking, the stuff that Bond has to go through to get there, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
random guy in like some red jacket is trying to get and see like, you know, the US Air Base commander like
Yeah, that's right.
in a service.
how what's going on?
Yeah, go on, Tom.
How James Bond is on his own completely because he's being mostly obstructed by the public, and
Yeah.
he's being and the villains are just putting their plan into action. Not only that, but the police, the law enforcement, also are after Bond as well. So, all for a threat that only he knows about and has to explain to
Yeah.
everyone first, and then solve if they let him do it.
That's
basically.
that's a really great point actually, and it's even better because you know this is Bond being purely resourceful and having to think on his feet. He has no gadgets, he has no vehicle, has nothing. He has nothing but his own wits to just save,
He's just GTA,
effectively
man.
save the world, or you know at least save the West. So you know, and again, and he's really up against it. He's got nothing going in his favor. Yeah, you're right. That's really interesting. And it's genuinely like secret agent stuff as well. You know, he's got this information and only he knows it. Yeah,
And he has, and when he
no one's helping.
infiltrates the tent later, he has people like rat on this film just because he wears a clown disguise, but he had no other option with
I
the
think that's great.
Yeah, and it's
I've
also
never, I've
a
never
flashback
seen that as a
to,
bad
like,
thing. I think that's
'cause,
like
like,
genuine.
it's
That's
the
what you
same
have
one
to
that
do.
009 wears
Mm.
as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
That's
you
always interesting to
associate
me as
that
well when I
clown.
was watching it. Like, imagine seeing 009 sort of like little film where he's
Yeah.
arrived in that situation.
Because I like it as well, because this is another thing. This is a more subtle way of, like, with Mishkin Grishki, they previously killed him. With
Yeah.
this, like, so I don't know if this is like an intentional thing or whether it would work out like this, but you associate that like clown outfit with like the death of 009 and his failure, right? Or
Mhm.
partial success, I guess, because he actually got to the embassy. So I guess subconsciously that would also raise the stakes just like a 1% perhaps for this.
Yeah.
the music is also very good because it builds up and
Yeah.
it's like do 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 do, and
Yeah,
then
that's
like
right. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
it's
well, Bond also sets a world record for clown, makeup and getting dressed.
Yeah.
Well, I think they do show that some time has passed. I'm not really sure, but even so, it's incredible for. Do you reckon they taught them that in like MI6 how to apply clown makeup just in case?
Unless there was a makeup artist in there, perhaps.
Maybe.
And he just went, "Oh yeah, I'm a stand-in or whatever. Like, just get me done quickly."
Yeah.
Because the makeup is done identical to the other clowns, so
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, so then yeah, Clown Bond enters the circus.
Barely.
And nobody believes him. He goes up to the American. Yeah, sure. Where else would a bomb be? Basically, might as well have Sheriff J.W. Pepper there at this point. No one believes him except Octopussy, fortunately.
Yeah, because she
Um,
recognizes him through all the makeup and shit. Because he
Yeah,
takes the hat and the nose off.
that's
well
right.
she hears his voice, which is quite unmistakable.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to make a comment because I was talking about this to someone yesterday. I think Roger Moore has my favorite voice of all time.
Hmm.
His voice is he's just got this really warm sort of brown voice, like golden voice. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, if I could have anyone's voice, although, another guy's voice is like fantastic, is Rowan Atkinson.
Hmm.
His accent, when he's talking in interview, he's a really deep, rich voice, and obviously a very refined accent as well, like Roger Moore.
Personally, I'd rather have a Jigsaw Tobin Bell's voice, so I wouldn't have to constantly do the impression of him.
Hello, Henry.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
who's your favorite voice, Tom, that you would like to have?
Charles Gross Blofeld.
James Mason.
Oh, interesting choice. I thought you said James May from her. I was like, what?
Yeah, same as well. I was like, hang on a minute. Hello.
Okay, good to know. So yeah, and do you know what I like about this with the bomb defusal, right? Because this is already
yeah.
something we've seen before in
Throwback.
Goldfinger.
And this is more specifically Spy Love Me. This reminds me of.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not on a timer in the Spy Love Me. I mean, the action of defusing the bomb is the same, yes.
Yeah.
But the fact you have a timer, you know what I like about it is because anyone who's been following the Bond franchise has also seen Goldfinger, and they'll remember the bomb defusal and how it,
Which he doesn't
stops
even
at
do.
007, which is obviously like quite tongue in cheek. And
You Only Live Twice too. Starts to count down at 5.
yeah,
Fifth
that's
film.
right. And then you've got this where you're like, okay, so you're watching it and you're like, if you're watching this for the first time, you go, okay. And I remember first time watching this when I was however old, I'm going, okay, yeah, it's probably going to stop on 007, and then it doesn't. It's like, oh well, maybe 005 then. It doesn't. 003. So you're like, oh shit, is this actually going to go off?
Yeah,
And that's like
exactly.
a very clever, very subtle way of actually,
Playing
again,
with your
remixing
expectations.
something that's already been done before, but still making it interesting.
Yeah, as well. Like, I remember seeing this literally the other day, and it's just like, despite the fact you know what happens, it builds the tension so well. Like with the
Yeah.
music as well. Like with it, the general performance does something like logical and tells everyone to shut the fuck up so he can diffuse this like literally bomb defusal like situation.
But the general's like very slow thinking, man. So he's like the amount of time he takes to look at the bomb and goes, yeah, let him go. Like, oh, great decision making, man.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You climbed your way to the top there, didn't you? The American military. But anyway, so Bond saves the day, of course. Um, and then the only loose end to tie up is they return to India as Octopussy leads the attack on Kamal Khan's base.
Yeah, man.
You know, Now, this is probably, I
Would you
mean,
call
yeah,
it a
for
weak
sure,
bit?
the most outrageous moment in, I'm tempted to say the whole franchise. I mean, these women in pretty, like, skimpy sort of
And it's
outfits.
not just the skimpy. It's the fact that they're in like. I also meant to mention with Octopussy's bodyguards, they have like the villain kind of outfits where they're like
Some of
bright
them do, but
colors,
then some of them are wearing actual bikinis where it's like, okay.
But like they're wearing such bright colors, and they're meant to be like sneaking around and shit.
Well, I mean, they're obviously light on their feet and gymnasts,
Yeah,
basically.
obviously.
So but I don't know. It's like,
But this like I don't know if this was like originally intended like back in the day to be like a girl power thing. I don't really know. Like like
yeah, it's
Well,
weird because it's not offensive. I don't think it's done in relatively good taste. I
yeah,
don't think it's
I
I
like
don't know
find
if you can say that, but
I
it's just
found
it's
it.
just again it's just outrageous. It's like, wow, they really did this.
I love as well like the trapeze artist swinging from like a bar that's supposedly hanging from nothing as well, like
Yeah.
across the palace, unless they attached it there the day before.
And of course, and it's actually funny because in the previous three films we've had the drunk Italian sort of double take guy, and you do kind of get that here as well. You get the
Yeah.
Indian guard sort of like, whoa.
Yeah, they're all drunk in this, so I think it's
Yeah,
more
that's right. And you
believable.
hear also Gobida's Sigma, disdain for women selling themselves.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I
verbally
do,
spits on them basically.
Mark's just like nabbing all the foreign cash you can get,
yeah,
and I
this
can
is like
print
And
my
he's like, yeah, I
own.
can print my own
this
money,
is
like.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
so-
obviously Bond and Q rock up in the Union Jack hot air balloon. I mean,
Yeah,
this
I
is
like if they got
just
like the Bond theme as well. Like,
yeah, exactly. And it's not just the Bond theme. It's like the kind of
like strings
Roger Moore Bond
instrumental.
theme almost. It's like on these different sort of instruments, and I don't know. There's
It's
something
a
about it
lighter.
which is
It's kind
just
of like a lighter Bond theme.
superb. Yeah, it's just absolutely spot on, man. And and the dialogue once again, it's like, you sure you know how to handle this contraption, Q? It's like, it goes by hot air. Oh well, then you can. It's
Yeah,
just brilliant.
yeah, and he
Um,
like just bails out of it like mid thing. He's just like, "Come back here, 007."
it's fantastic. Um,
It's like talking like he's his like dad or something,
there is like a massive movie mistake happening here because obviously Octopussy confronts Kamal Khan. He tries to blag his way out of it successfully. Knocks her out, takes her on horseback to the plane,
Oh
and
yeah, exactly.
all of a sudden it's daylight outside. So
Yeah,
it's like
he's like the
so
ultimate
obvious.
That
like.
was but when they landed on the thing, it was dark and you could see
Yeah.
it was getting light. So
Oh, the sun was rising. You think?
yes,
No, no, but it's way too
It's
obvious,
too
man.
much
Like
of a
it's
change, unless
it's
it's
not just
like
like dawn; it's broad daylight, man. It's like
but
yeah,
clearly
that's
like
but
mid
that's
afternoon.
but like from what I understand, that's what happens at the equator. It gets dark very quickly and it gets light very quickly.
Tom,
Interior is actually
I completely respect your you defended Tarzan, you defended this. Fair play, man. I'll go with it. I don't mind. It's Octopussy.
I
Um.
don't have too much to defend myself.
So
But
yeah, Bond pursues them on a horseback. While Q lands as well.
yeah, because he
In the
takes
hot
out
air
a
balloon.
guard with the fucking balloon, man. Like,
That's right.
because like
Yeah, that's right.
they'll get
That's right.
jumped.
Yeah, that's right. It's so good, man.
They'll get jumped by this guard, and then like he
Yeah,
notices he just like fucking I don't know how you control a hot air balloon, but like he just like knocks him out, like
yeah.
crashes
Hot
right
air,
into his
Henry.
back, and then like and as he gets out, they're all just like swarming him.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
That's
this
right.
is no time for
He has
that.
this
You
Hugh
make it
Hefner
later.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, Bond somehow leaps from horseback to the back of this plane.
Oh yeah.
Um.
A lot of stunt work went into this.
Yeah. Now I don't know how physically possible any of this is. Is it at all, or
I
could
think I
this?
mean there's a thing though. There's such a thing as wing walking, which is done when people walk on planes, like on like more like biplanes. But and
But like,
you have
if you got on a plane, I mean, this is a small plane, so I guess it's not that powerful, but it does look pretty high up.
I
Could you
think
feasibly like grip onto, like, say you're handcuffed at least to it, so you couldn't like fall to your death? But could you actually like not pass out or whatever
I
in that situation?
I
It
that's what
think
they
seems like
did.
it's
And
possible. I think
actually,
this actually happened. I have
Okay.
to fact check this,
No, it has actually happened.
because
There
this
was someone
guy,
who flew from the UK to South Africa clinging onto a
yeah,
plane.
from South
so-
Africa,
Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because
that's
he
true.
he like clung to the undercarriage of a jumbo jet, like for example. So this is probably possible, and
Okay, yeah, I
especially if
suppose
they
it
did
could.
it with the stunt
It
actors.
could feasibly happen.
Yeah, I wonder
Okay.
how much they paid this guy to do this though. Like,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazingly done, and obviously, Kamal Khan sends Gobinder up there to go and.
oh, I love it as well. Where like, with like previous Bond henchmen, they would have probably been like, yeah, all right. But with him, he's just like out there.
Yeah.
He's I like the delight Kamal Khan shows as well when he thinks he's finally killed
Yeah,
Bond,
that's right.
and then
And
like
Gobinder does a double take as well when he sees him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, and he like gets him to look out as well, man. It's great. He's just,
yeah,
I
wipes
don't,
the
because
smile
Bond's
off.
like ripping out the cables. I don't know what his plan was, to like rip out the cables to like the plane's engine, and then
I
like
think he's trying to get the plane to force it to land or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I got from it as well.
Yeah.
And you also get like Octopussy's reaction to him, like sticking his head down through the porthole. Like, what is going on, man?
yeah, like you should probably. Am I fucking like dreaming or some shit? Like,
Good for Bond actually, because like he has really no stake in this at. He's really, really risking his life to like save Octopussy. Like, good for him, man.
Yeah. yeah, what even?
We can get behind that.
I love as well, like
Because
just
it's
after
easy to criticize Bond for like, disposing women and stuff, but he really makes a real effort to like
Yeah.
save her life, which you have to
yeah,
respect.
like with this, like I love as well, like after he like fucks up the engine, like come on, Khan's he's like, he'll kill us all, like.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I thought I was insane, man. Like
Yeah,
this guy's
yeah.
like
That's right. That's right.
clinging to a plane man, just to fuck me over.
Yep. So Bond manages to, get Octopussy out, saves her. A bit of a movie mistake where his hand isn't positioned properly. Like
I noticed.
I noticed that every time, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Saves Octopussy. Kamal Khan dies, of course. Gobinder
yeah.
also
The
died.
insert shot of him like screaming before he like crashes.
No,
He
he's
has
not. I don't think he's screaming. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
not
doing.
screaming, but he's shouting. He's like, ah.
he has the
Oh yeah, you're right. He does.
he has the weirdest death pose as well. He like
Yeah.
I can't do it in front of the camera, but like
Yeah.
I don't know, it always struck me as odd when I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as well, like, we also forgot to mention how Gobinder gets dispatched, man. Like, he's like obviously he's like trying to cut a Bond, and he just like flings like the antenna into his face, man.
You know
bizarre.
what's interesting though, like they go on this film about like, oh, the stuntman has a parachute, which you can clearly see, but like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you?
what I like to
I've
think
never noticed that.
that Gobinder, I like to think that Gobinder like shoved it under his clothes before going out to get Bond, and then like
Yeah, why
after
not?
that-
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's not even. Yeah, exactly. That's not even like too
I've
far
never
out.
noticed the parachute. That's interesting.
Same.
Yeah, when he's
It's like,
flying off, you kind of I know I don't know I noticed it.
well, that means Gobinder survived actually, so he's out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, man.
Should,
He inherited all of Kamal's.
Yeah, exactly. He pulled a reverse knick-knack, like.
That's what makes him the biggest singer because he actually like
Yeah,
gets all the
Yeah,
money.
well. Well, he's not
He's like
loyal to
Indian
his boss. He's not
Scarface,
loyal
man.
to his boss then, but then again, he's seeking the bag. So,
You're
Yeah.
like,
well, I mean,
this is just
Anyway,
a theory.
that palace has been.
Yeah.
assaulted,
So everyone's I mean, Bond saves the day, of course,
I
and
love,
then
like-
he's back he's in the boat with the in-out boat.
Yeah, but I love. There's also as an insert shot between, not insert shot, but there's a scene between with General Gogol though, like. Where
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, my government categorically denies the event ever happened. By the way, though, where's the Romanov star? And it's like hanging on like the champagne as well, like in where Bond is.
Yeah, that's right.
This priceless piece of jewelry, just like
Yeah. Yeah, and
This really should have been Roger Moore's final film, I think, because he had good chemistry with
yeah, it would have been nice. I mean,
Octopus,
as
yes.
much as I love A View to a Kill,
should have had Timothy Dalton. Just saying.
no,
I say
no,
this every time.
it'd have been good to have Timothy. But I do love Roger Moore in A View to a Kill, even though he is old in it.
Nah,
But
that's what killed that film, though. I think.
no, I don't think. Well, we'll talk about it soon. But I. It would have been nice to have Roger Moore literally sailing off to the sunset with a woman he obviously cares about that looks right for him, sort of thing as well.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
would have
not
been
his
nice.
last scene in that interview to kill, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, that
Mm.
would have been nice for views for this to be Roger Moore's last film, but then we wouldn't have got Views to Kill, which I do love as well. But anyway, we'll talk about that. But now we're going to rank the various elements within the Bond films up against each other, and we're going to start off with Bond actor himself. We have currently number 1 Sean Connery, number 2 Roger Moore, number 3 George Lazenby. If we don't move Roger Moore number 1 now, then
We never will, and I don't think we ever will.
what?
This
Come
is just
on.
my. This is how I feel.
No
It's-
way, Tom.
The
Back me
best
up,
of
man.
Roger
We
Moore
have
is
to put
not
Roger Moore
better
above
than
Sean
the
Connery,
best of
don't we?
Sean Connery.
I agree with Henry because this film is the thing is with Roger Moore, he has so many different like films where it dips up and down in like quality and like adjustment to him, whereas Sean Connery doesn't have that as much. He has like he's good in like all of his films, and you can't
No.
really take that away from.
What about Diamonds Are Forever?
He's
Diamonds
still
Are
good in
is
Diamond Are
great.
Forever. I
Yeah,
think he's got a good. He's got a
he's
good.
good
Like,
in that.
he's not the problem in that film.
And Thunderball.
He's
He's
still
good
good
in
in that film
Thunderball.
as well.
And Never Say Never Again.
We don't count that.
That's
That's
only
not
Sean
that's the
Connery is
official.
thing.
James Bond in
That's
that film.
if you're
That's
counting
not
Never Say Never
official
Again,
though.
that's one Bond film.
You're gonna count
Versus
him
like
in
Roger
Rocky
Moore,
as
he
well.
like in where he's like flip flopping in like a few of his like For Your Eyes Only. He doesn't really like. You can't believe it, especially not in The Man
And
with Golden
they
Gun.
took so long
And
to
in Live
get
and Let
him
Die
into.
either.
Yeah,
I'm
they took him.
devastated, man. I'm devastated. I can't
You're
believe it.
And
devastated
in A View
after
to a
this.
Kill, where it's like he's like
Review to,
fight
oh
like
no, oh, I can't believe it, man. Well, whatever, man. I'm on record. Roger Moore's my favorite Bond, but
Yeah,
majority.
well, Timothy Dalton's my favorite, and I know he will never be number one.
I did manage to like fraud him in. No, I didn't fraud him. I had him number 1 for one episode, so
Yeah, well,
my work is done. All right, well, come on, man. You're really gonna put wife beater Sean Connery above Roger Moore?
it's not about
So
who he is.
what?
Shame on you,
It's
man.
not about who
Shame
he is
on
as a
you.
person. It's about who they are as James Bond.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I think
Sean
we all know who
Connery
Sean Connery is.
made James
You're
Bond.
gonna put a Scotsman above an Englishman, are you?
Well, he was
Actually,
so good that Ian Fleming rewrote
Exactly.
Bond's background to make him half
Yeah.
Scottish.
Whatever. My hands are clean. All right. Well, it is what it is.
Also, yeah. Anyway,
Bond girl, number 1, Tracy. Number 2, Triple X. Number 3, Domino. Number 4, Holly Goodhead. Number 5, Honey Rider. Number 6, Miss Anders. Number 7, Melina. Number 8, Tatiana. Number 9, Aki and the Wife. Number 10, Pussy Galore. Number 11, Tiffany Case. Number 12, Solitaire. Number 13, Goodnight. Number 14, BB. We're only halfway through this franchise as well. Fuck me. Where are we going to rank OCTOPUSSY? And Magda, I suppose.
maybe above Honey Rider.
below.
Oh,
Honey
no
Rider.
way, man. I think OCTOPUSSY goes far lower. What do you
Really?
think, Tom? Yeah, I don't think OCTOPUSSY's that good. Actually.
Can you say the ranking again? Sorry.
No, I can't say all of that again.
Can't
There's
say all of
14
it. Just
names.
just select a point from where. Maybe below all
Do you think she's good or mid or shit?
I
sort
think
of thing.
she's going. She's
I
about
can
the
give
same.
you.
As,
I can rank. I can give you like 4 names if you just give me a rough idea of where
Would
you.
you put her below Miss Anders?
I think she. I think she
Yeah,
goes
she's got to
above
go below
Miss
Miss
Sanders.
Anders, right?
I think she
Um,
goes above Miss Sanders because this film like this film fits around her so much. Like Miss Anders is from a different film in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
and she gets killed. Like, she's treated so poorly in that.
I know,
like,
but she's good. She's an intriguing story. I'd rather see a film about Miss Anders than
She's
about OCTOPUSSY. Man.
she's a titular. You really wouldn't see in a film about OCTOPUSSY over
She's so
Miss
boring,
Sanders.
man. She's like
She's
going
not
about a
boring.
life story, man. Like I'm like,
Because she has a lot to talk about. She has like her
yeah,
business,
but no one cares,
her
man.
like.
It's like,
Yeah, I
it's boring.
diversified. Yeah, a bit of Sigma female, to be honest.
I think you're an outlier when it comes to.
Oh
Octopus.
wow, man! Like I thought you guys would be right. I thought you
I don't
two
know.
liked
I
this
don't know.
film,
This is
man.
tough.
Like,
This is tough
all
for
right,
me, actually. I don't
We're
know.
saying
whether
it's high.
I
You're
was-
saying it's
all
low.
right. So we're putting what above or below Honey Rider?
Below.
I don't know if I put her above Miss Anders. This is the thing, because Miss Anders' character is good,
Yeah.
but she's just. It's the film that she doesn't fit in. I don't think you can fault her for that, because we did the same kind of logic with.
Well, where should we put it then? So Honey Rider's 5th, Miss Anders 6th, Melina 7th.
I would put her below Melina, actually.
I put her above Melina.
I would prefer to see Melina put into a better written film than to see.
Melina's very inconsistent though.
I know, but that's
I'd probably
because
just, I think OCTOPUSSY does edge it above Melina. I think.
Well, I can only fight so far.
Okay, villain. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I would be
Number
interested to
1,
see this.
Blofeld, Donald Pleasance. Number 2, Goldfinger. Number 3, Blofeld, Telly Savalas. Number 4, Hugo Drax. Number 5, Scaramanga. Number 6, Dr. Kananga. Number 7, Dr. No. Number 8, Rosa Klebb. Number 9, Emiliano Largo. Number 10, Stromberg. Number 11, Christassos. Number 12, Charles Gray Blofeld.
Hmm.
Where are we going to put Kamal Khan and Orlov?
Are we doing
Oh,
them
that's
individually, or are we doing them both? 'Cause it's really hard to do both.
we did separate Christassos and...
Lock.
Oh, no, we didn't. No, yeah, we're going to have to rank them together.
I would put them actually. I would tend to put them above Scaramanga actually.
What? No way, man. They
They're
go...
so
think-
good. Are you
I
joking?
think
You're like
that,
moaning about From Russia with Love being like, I put them below Rosa Klebb.
what? No, like they go way higher than that. They go maybe, I think, number 3, because actually, because
joking.
Wait,
Well-
hang on a minute. You're putting above Telly Savalas' Blofeld.
yes, because
Why?
Orlov is, they're so great in their roles. Like Orlov,
Who let this guy cook?
like what was I gonna say?
I don't
Well,
know,
we're
you've got-
really
you've got
different
a
on
lot
these
to
now because
defend.
I'd put them like I just don't think they're memorable at all.
Where would you
Fine,
put
just
James?
put them.
I said I'd
wherever.
put them below Rosa Klebb.
Or who's above Rosa Klebb?
Dr. No, Dr. Kananga,
Why did you
Scaramanga.
put Rosa
Good.
Klebb below Doctor No?
Yeah, that's fair. These are all really iconic villains, and I like them. I respect them. They're good actors, but they're just not memorable.
Man. But General Orlov is so good that both of them are really
Yeah,
good.
they're great, but as a Bond villain, they're good together, but individually, if we're doing them individually, then
Individually,
okay,
they're
think of it
great.
that way.
Like
If you put,
you
just
have-
Kamal Khan on his own, he's definitely going below Rosa Klebb, and I think so.
Yeah,
like
General Orlov
he has
is-
such good moments. Like
He does, but
bits-
he's just he's not like that.
You know
memorable.
what? I would.
he is though. Like it's just the
Well, okay.
the
I mean,
fact
we've got
people hate
Scaramanga
this film
5th,
so much.
6th Kananga, 7th Doctor No, 8th Rosa Klebb.
This is the thing. I think they're both better than Doctor No, but not as good as Rosa Klebb.
Okay, so we could put them below Doctor No and above Rosa Klebb.
No, but I don't think that. This is the thing. I would reverse
Doctor
Doctor
No
No and
is
Rosa Klebb, so I
better
would
than
have
Rosa
to put them
Klebb,
below
though.
Rosa Klebb.
Well, what do you think, Tom?
Just put them.
It's a
wherever.
very high opinion, it seems.
Yeah, well, I think on that basis, I think Doctor No is pretty good, man.
But he's there for like 5 minutes. That's the problem.
Yeah, Kananga. I'm really thinking this now. Okay, I think maybe below Doctor Kananga, then above Doctor No.
Man, what was his crimes against Russia with Love, man?
Well, I originally said below Rosa
Man,
Klebb, but you guys are
and then
negotiating
I
me
ended up
higher,
supporting
so
that decision. Now you've changed it.
So what then? Where would you have them?
I just said below Rosa Klebb.
Oh, okay. But some would have them much higher, and I think I would
That's
as well.
the thing. I think they're better than Doctor No, but not as good as Rosa Klebb. But because of the orders, I can't put them up in that.
Well, I mean, if Tom's not against it, we can switch it up. So Rosa Klebb goes 7th, then 8th, these guys, and then 9th, Doctor No. But I think Doctor No does deserve to go above Rosa Klebb. That's the thing.
Well, I guess we can put them below Rosa Klebb for now because we both agree on that. I think, right?
It's tough, man. It's really tough. Tom, you'd have
The thing is that Kamal Khan is so
really.
quotable.
Why are you
think-
saying why are you saying giving them compliments than saying like
Yeah, because
They're so
I'm
good, they're so
conflicted. This is the
quotable.
whole thing.
I'll
I
put
was
them below
originally going to
Rosa
put pretty
Klebb.
high, then I was going to put lower. Now I'm trying to think like.
Yeah.
Doctor No
And
is
do you know what?
better
Well, I
than
will
Rosa
say they have a really good actual strategy, and they come so close to pulling it off. I think
Yeah, that is
that
true.
does go in their favor a lot as well. Yeah, I think.
You have good like genuine acting as well, like when
Yeah. No, the
car
acting is
doesn't
superb.
start.
No doubt about that. I think. I'm looking at Dr. Kananga. I'm thinking right now if they're better or worse than Dr. Kananga. Because I really like him.
I would actually put him above Dr. Kananga then. I was considering putting him above Scaramanga actually.
No, I can't go above Scaramanga.
But it's because of Scaramanga's because I think Scaramanga only in my mind gets pulled down by the film he's in, but him himself. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. Kananga. I don't know. Kananga's. Yeah. All right.
Tom, you would
Okay.
put him above Kananga, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, someone put
I
him
said
above
I'd put
Telly
them
Savalas,
three.
man. So.
I don't if
I
All
would
right.
put him above
there's
Kananga.
some issue with my mic or something.
All right. Kamal Khan
No, I haven't heard
and Orlov going 6th, below Scaramanga but above Kananga.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty. I don't want to say generous, but that's pretty
I think
respectful.
it's a reasonable settlement.
It's respectful.
That's
right?
not bad to be 6th on the list of
Exactly.
13. So
And they've gone above Kananga, Dr. No, Rosacled. You know, these are big names.
yeah.
Okay, right.
This just speaks to how many good Bond villains there are.
I mean, you've both like done Roger Moore so dirty, man. It's it's like your uncle, man. Like I don't know, like how you can do that.
Still
to him.
don't care.
Anyway, all right, villain. Sorry, just done the villain. Henchman.
Oh,
Gobinder, and I think we should throw in the twins as well.
Yeah.
Going up against number 1, Jaws, number 2, Oddjob, number 3, Red Grant, number 4, Teehee, number 5, Bunt, number 6, Loke and Eric. Who's Eric? Oh yeah, the German guy. Winston Kid, 7th, 8th, Knick-Knack, 9th, Fiona, and 10th, Hans. Where are we going to put Gobinder?
I think they go above. Well, tell me, what do you think?
Oh man, it's tough because I'm like thinking.
I think above Teehee and below Red Grant.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's tough. Who's above Bun?
Teehee.
I'm really tempted to put him below Bun. But
he's great, man.
Gobinder's great.
I know he's
and
great.
the twins
it's the murderous look that he pulls off that might put him there.
Yeah. All right.
does-
Car/vehicle.
I think he should go below T because T's introduction is so good. Where like Ben's Bond's gun.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And he's like fucking with Bond constantly, man. It's the dialogue that's good. Like, and and also T and the crew, man. You've got a great cast. So you got like Baron Samedi, him, and Adam, who like.
Yeah, and the taxi driver. Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think, Tom?
It's tough though. Michigan Grishko are great as well.
I don't know. Just put them above. Around the same level as Tiki.
Yeah,
maybe above.
But Teehee's introduction is quality.
And
that's the only
dialogue.
thing.
It's so tough though because
so is Gobinder's and so is the twins.
Gobinder's weapon of choice is what I respect. The blunderbuss, man. I think he's just got to go.
Yeah, I think maybe going above because I also like how kind of, in a less serious film they are both very serious. Like,
and it's worth mentioning the twins do kill a 00 agent. That's pretty.
That's their intro,
one.
and Gobinder's intro is crushing the dice, which is pretty cool. So
well, yeah,
bit of an odd job knockoff, but
yeah.
All right.
So what?
Anyway,
I don't like.
Now we're going to rank the cars and vehicles. Now I think we have 2, or maybe we have so many great vehicles. Okay, the current rankings: number 1, Aston Martin DB5; number 2, Little Nelly; number 3, the Lotus; number 4, the Moonraker boat; number 5, the Gondola; number 6, the Citroen; and number 7, the Moon Buggy. I want to throw in that we have the mini plane, we have the crocodile submarine, and we have the tuk tuk, all of which deserve to be on this list somewhere.
I don't know about the crocodile submarine.
No, that's the best vehicle of all, man.
All right, well,
I think that's going above the Moonraker boat.
yeah, that like you could travel in style, solo, a bit of a Sigma.
Croc sub going in at 4th. What about the tuk tuks?
That scenes are so good. What's below the Lotus?
The Croc sub and the Moonraker boat.
I think the tuk tuk is better than the Croc sub.
Yeah. Oh,
No, it's
I
'cause,
don't
like,
know. The croc sub
like,
is great, man.
They
It
use
does say
yeah, no,
Bond's
but the
face
croc
on top.
sub's there for 5 seconds. The buggy, not the
Yeah,
buggy.
you're right.
Tuk
Actually,
Tuk
yeah,
chase is
you're right.
so good.
You're right. Tuk Tuk's going in at 4th then. Croc sub's already dropped to 5th.
That
And
was
what about the
sweet,
plane?
Tom.
I agree.
Yep.
Plane above the Lotus, maybe? Maybe not above Lotus.
No. I think we're getting a bit carried away now. I think it goes below the Tuk Tuk.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, maybe
Tuk
I'm
Tuk's
being
sick, man. I mean,
Mm,
the plane doesn't really do much apart from just dodge the missile, really. So
yeah.
Well, what else can it do? Really?
yeah, exactly. It's a little bit
Fire off the
limited. That's the
nose
only
cone,
thing.
you know.
I mean, it's a stunning stunt, obviously.
Yeah, the stunt, which is
But
definitely
it's just a
done
little
by
bit limited. That's
fault.
my little qualm with it. So, where would you
Oh,
put it,
all
Tom?
right, okay. I will maybe say below the
I'd maybe even put it below the Moonraker boat, actually.
I think I'd rather have. I don't know. I like the jet more than the Lotus, honestly. But
The Lotus has the
Well,
Lotus.
personally, I'd have the Tuk Tuk first if we were going by that thing. But you know,
You'd have a Tuk Tuk over an Aston Martin DB5.
yeah,
well, maybe not. But I don't know.
All right,
I mean, this list is a bit of a joke anyway. So I mean, where are we going to put the plane? Just like
All right, below
mini
Tuk
plane,
Tuk, I think.
and below the Croc sub.
Nah,
yeah.
this is more iconic.
All right, mini plane can go 6th then. Oh, we finally got a new M. So Bernard Lee's number 1. Where are we going to put Robert Brown?
Well, I don't think we're going to say it's better than Bernard Lee, are we?
Well, I don't think they're a million miles apart, but I
Yeah,
think
I know, but I mean, to be fair, their role is pretty simple. Just play like an old guy who just tells them shut the fuck up half the time.
all right. Okay, so then Robert Brown is going 2nd below Bernard Lee. Q still obviously Desmond Llewellyn. Moneypenny still Lois Maxwell. We lost our recording here, so unfortunately we've lost a bit of chat, but we've put Draco and Campbell. Sorry, so for the ally / Felix Leiter, number 1, Draco and Campbell. Number 2, Tiger Tanaka. Very narrowly, VJ number 3.
Yeah.
Just because he's a great
He's so
personality.
good, man. It's just
you know?
like but Tiger's resourcefulness makes him just a little bit, pushes him up a bit more.
Yeah, and he's got the ninja training school.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
VJ's like a very cool, very charismatic.
Yeah, I mean, let it not be forgotten, Tiger provided Bond with the cigarette gun, which, as he said, can save your life.
That's right. VJ, he's a sacrificial lamb, and unfortunately, though, his death doesn't really. It doesn't really like make a difference. Unfortunately, I mean, they might as well. It's just for the emotional stakes, isn't it? Otherwise, they could have kept him alive, and then he can be part of the base invasion at the end.
I think the fact that this is a possible theory. You know how like it changes when Bond goes to East Berlin to like kind of
maybe that motivates
that's why
him
he's turned into a bit more of like a pissed off killer.
Maybe
the death of VJ has affected him.
Yep. So VJ goes in at 3rd there. Gadgets, we've had the dart gun at number 1. Number 2, the Rolex from Live and Let Die. Number 3, the attaché case. Number 4, the cigarette. Number 5, we put the acid pen from this film. Just above Oddjob's hat, which I didn't really agree with, but, majority. Number 7, rebreather. Number 8, Wolf PPK. Number 9, the mousetrap. The theme song, we put all-time high at the bottom. As Tom said, an all-time low.
Yeah.
Opening, we had a very passionate discussion where OCTOPUSSY went 3rd above Moonraker and below Goldfinger and The Spy Love Me. And the Sigma moment, number 1, Goldfinger, I in the Club. Number 2, You Missed Mr. Bond. Did I? Number 3, Red Grant. Number 4, Blofeld's Extortion. Number 5, Dr. No. Number 6, I Need You, James. So does England. Number 7, Tracy's Already a Countess. Number 8, Scaramanga. Number 9, Eric. Number 10, Blofeld, Prepare My Battle Submarine. Number 11, David Niven. Number 12, Names of a Tombstones Baby. And number 13, King and Country. Someone please do some talking for me.
I will have to say, I know Tom will disagree. At least I think he'll disagree with me that I don't think Goblins should be the Sigma male of this because
the backgammon
the
scene,
backgammon scene is so good. And it's not just the scene. I will nominate I Prefer Cash. as like
I
the cap off Sigma moment, man, just to fuck over this guy even more.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually had my whole different opinion about what should be the Sigma moment.
Oh yeah,
So at the end, when I was trying to say it, but
Yeah.
um,
Carl or something.
on the end where he's like preparing to leave, I think it's quite Sigma how he has like all the all his like other options available, like the gold certificates on board, dollars, pounds, francs, marks. I can always print my own.
Mm.
And then there's another one where he's like, look, I was bringing you this. We can make millions. And like, I don't know which of
Nah,
those.
but that's a cope, man.
I think
Yeah.
dollars, pounds, francs, marks. I can always print my own. Is like,
Oh, that is
This-
quite
That is very
Sigma.
Sigma.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is the thing. This is the cap on such a Sigma scene as well. Like,
that's not really
Like,
Sigma.
not
Though.
only
That's more of an
but not
alpha.
only
thing.
has he like just destroyed him and like basically exposed him as a cheat to everyone while like stealing like 200 grand off of him by also cheating. He
That's
just
more
said
of-
like in mid signing of a check, he says, I prefer cash.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
Bring
more.
me
That's
my, he's
more
like
of
it's
an.
like
That's
just
more
saying,
of an
bring me
alpha
my money,
thing, though.
red boy.
I'm sorry, but in your like compilation thing, you put it as an alpha thing and like
It's
inconveniencing the
literally
better.
called Roger Moore's Sigma grind set.
But in the actual video, you put it as an you called Roger Moore as an alpha. So
No,
No,
I
it
don't.
doesn't. It's
I only
they're all
call only
Sigma
call
tips.
no, I only called him what's it called? I called Kamal Khan a beta, but
Yeah.
Roger Moore is being a Sigma here. There's no women involved.
he- I don't know.
Whereas
Like
There are a lot of Sigma males in this film.
May also points out your quote
Yeah.
is it's him cowering to a woman. So
no, my quote is dollars, pounds, francs, marks. I can always
I
that
print it.
before she entered the
I agree, Tom, that Kamal Khan is a Sigma male in that moment, but in the rest of the film, he does get dicked over a little bit every
Little
now and
bit.
then by Bond directly, and
he
especially
gets
in that
cut
scene.
throughout this film as well. So
Yeah, exactly. So
twice.
I think I agree with Henry that scene has to be, and it has to go very high up as well. Maybe above Red Grant and below You Missed Mr. Bond. Did I?
Maybe even above You Miss Mr. Bond. I think. It's so good.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, this is just like sort of a game of backgammon. This is like a game of life and death, man, which Bond just like Sigmas his way out of, man.
I don't think these moments are actually really that Sigma though. It's more of an alpha thing. Like he got
Yeah,
it
but still.
right.
This is
and,
like flexing with money.
This is like I don't know. Whenever I think of Sigma, I think of someone who just who like decisively just focuses on the goal that they're focusing on rather than like trying to like I don't know do any social displays of like
No,
this
but
or
like,
that.
but
Like,
But
in
when I
this,
think of a Sigma moment, I'm the music is literally playing in my head
so
to
does
the
England.
scene. That's what decides it for me.
Yeah, as well. I mean, I thought you were referencing like the most Sigma moment by definition in this is like Bond, turning down the woman by saying, like, oh James, I need you. And he says, so does England, and then
Yeah.
leaves.
No. The most Sigma moment is what we have as number one, which
I
is
own the club.
Goldfinger. I own the club.
And that's a flex,
That's
like
brilliant.
Bond is
Um,
like flexing and humiliating this guy, like who's
Where does
who's
this
like
backgammon scene go? I mean, second or third?
what's second and third? Sorry.
You missed Mr. Bond, did I? And then Red Grant is third.
I think this has to go second.
Tom?
well, it's not even the moment I'd have picked. So I don't know. Like
Where would you
I
But
don't
rank?
this
know.
is also going on behalf of all the Sigma content in this film as well.
Yeah, this is a very Sigma film. So.
I don't know. Well,
Like keep in mind, this is how Octopussy's Sigma.
I'm on the fence, by the way, Tom. So I'll go with whatever you say, really.
Octopussy at the end of the day is going very high on the Sigma list. Like we all know this.
I think. Yeah. What does it go above or below? You missed Mr. Bond, did I?
I think we'll. I don't know. I think maybe.
This involves money. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe it does
Lots of
go
it.
second, actually.
And
Yeah,
just like
put it
there's
second.
so
Then.
much in it.
All
Like,
right. Yeah, go on then. I'll just put backgammon. There we go.
Why don't you just
And,
say I prefer
The
Finally.
actual quote would be like, I prefer cash. I think.
I'm not typing out the whole quote, man.
Alright.
Right, now the film. Number 1, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Number 2, Goldfinger. Number 3, Moonraker. Number 4, The Spy Who Loved Me. Number 5, You Only Live Twice. Number 6, The Man with the Golden Gun. Number 7, Live and Let Die. Number 8, Doctor No. Number 9, From Russia with Love. Number 10, Thunderbolt. Number 11, For Your Eyes Only. Number 12, Diamonds Are Forever. Number 13, Casino Royale. What are we saying for Octopussy?
Above Moonraker.
Tom?
Um,
I mean, this is your favourite Bond film, so.
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't think so after, but like, what was I gonna say? I think I'll go out on a limb and say it's number 2, because this film is like, I had so many other notes I want to say during this, but like, obviously,
Well,
there's
this is your
time.
chance. Like, say what you want to say now.
Well, you
Why
saw
would you put this above Goldfinger? That's
Yeah, pitch this to us, man.
I don't have the energy.
The
Trust
only
me,
chance you'll get. Yeah.
Uh, um,
I mean,
Dunno.
I would put it. I mean, I can't.
you put the man of the god. The rankings are messed up enough as it
Well,
is.
we'll,
Like,
we'll change. Well, we're gonna have to do like a recap episode at the very end. So
We've all done our own rankings anyway, so
Yeah, exactly.
your justice will be served. Don't worry. But I think for this, yeah,
put my
I think
position.
Octopussy goes third as well,
below what?
below Goldfinger and above Moonraker.
and what's? Oh yeah. No worry.
So we
Yeah, I think
have
it's fair.
Although, I mean, I would happily go to the desert island with a DVD of Octopussy. I would have no complaints with that, to be honest.
Yeah, we're contractually obliged to mention the desert islands every time now.
Well,
But it's a
I mean,
fair
that is my measuring stick at the end of the day. So I think
well, I've
I
put
would
my
not complain being sent to like I say, like whatever with just Octopussy. If that's the
North
only
Korea
Bond film I could ever watch,
list.
I'd be more than happy with that. But I'd be happy with Moonraker or Goldfinger or On Her Majesty's Secret Service. These are all elite Bond films, so
yeah.
I think
Well,
Octopussy does go third.
This
That's
is
fair.
much to the against. I'm pretty sure this is rated as one of the lowest films in the Bond series in terms of if you look on IMDb. I think.
Ah, that's a disgrace, man.
Yeah, I
Like,
know it's such a joke, man. It's just literally just purely Bond's in a clown outfit. Like fuck
Huh.
you, didn't even watch the film.
yeah. So third, below Goldfinger, above Moonraker. I think that's pretty fair, right?
Wrong.
Okay, well, that concludes our episode. So, unless we have any final thoughts, Tom? All right, I'll take
Oh.
your silence as complete and total agreement with everything that's been said. So, other than that, Henry, unfortunately, we're back with Never Say Never Again tomorrow, next week. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's
Never see it again. More like I
it's
honestly.
gonna be actually. It's only I've only seen it once. What I like is that Rowan Atkinson's randomly in it. That will keep me
Yeah,
going
true.
for halfway through the film
Yeah.
until I see him.
Rowan
But, oh
Atkinson being
man,
the highlight
love
of Bond film. Man. Anyway.
um, so that's it. So we'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening. Oh yeah, same bat time, same bat channel.